We live yet? All right. We are here, preseason week 1. We have finally made it. Browns' first preseason game of the season. Shador Sanders getting the start today. We are minutes before kickoff, and if you want to be more locked in with what's going on with the Cleveland Browns, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. So what we know right now, Shador Sanders is very likely to get what Kevin Stefanski said about 50 plays. Now, obviously, it's not going to be 50 pass attempts, right? But it is going to be 50 plays. Depending on how many 3-and-outs they go, that can be a half, that could be 3/4, that can be about a half or 3/4, really. That's it's about really as far as it goes. I think in a normal game, about a whole game is about 100-something snaps. So there is that. Like always, if you want to interact with the show, you can super chat. If you super chat, it will pop up on screen. This is the first stream of the weekend, of the week. Well, not of the week, but the first stream of the year. So, forgive me if there are some technical difficulties to some of the stuff, like the live scoreboard. We're going to work on that as stuff comes through. But we got our first super chat of the day from Youngblood Bake, who says, "Hey Q, I just became a dog check tier level guy. I think I just saw you in my email. So appreciate you for joining the dog check tier. And if you want to join the dog check tier, if you've been supporting this channel for a while, and you want to take it to that next level, if you can, join the dog check tier. One of the things I'm going to do this season, I think I'm going to start setting it up next week, is a NCAA online dynasty, and you guys tell me if y'all want to do a college football 26, not college football, a Madden 26 online franchise mode. Obviously, spots are limited. That's why I'm kind of putting this on dog check tier, because you can only have but so many people in those online leagues. But it is cross-platform this year, Xbox or PlayStation. You can join. So hit me up. if on Twitter, if that's something you're interested in, and I'm gonna start setting up that stuff for next week and accepting invites here. So appreciate that. We got another super chat from Chosen Cartel. Let's go. Here's to another greatest year of coverage from Q. Appreciate the high praise there. I'm just trying to do my best. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today, man. There's a lot of hype on this preseason game. It kind of reminds me, if you are a Cavs fan, it kind of reminds me of when the Cavs drafted Andrew Wiggins, and there was this Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker 1 versus 2 Summer League game, and there was a lot of hype around that Summer League. I remember they sold that game out. People were comparing it to Magic and Bird, all kind of fun stuff. And, you know, it ended up not being that, but there was that level of excitement. And that game, I do believe, did deliver, right? I still remember it to this day. So, you know, I think it's important to enjoy moments like this because they don't always happen. Excitement in the preseason is rare. Don't get too carried away, or at least I'm going to try my best not to get too carried away. And we will go on from there. But yeah, it should be a fun environment. The only thing that I wish this was at home, but then I think it's probably a good thing it's not at home because we'd be going crazy right now. We would. But yeah, it's an exciting day. You know, the first day of the first preseason game is always exciting. Someone said, "Why do people hate Carson wearing 49?" I don't know. I haven't seen that much hate. I like Carson wearing 49. Hey, Q, here for a fun season. Food loves. Appreciate you. Seems like we're about a few minutes away from kickoff. Probably going to be kicking off around a few minutes here. Looks like they're setting up now. One to toss selected to defer. Matthew Wright will kick it away. He and Ryan Fitzgerald competing for the champion starting place kicker. That's it for Cleveland. Caden Davis and Luke Florio. New kickoff rules this season mean touchbacks that go into or out of the end zone on the fly. Put the ball at the 35-yard line. You got to get it in that landing. All right, Brown's going to get the ball first. We're going to see Shador up first. Brown's wearing the all whites. And it bounces off the hands of 89. And spun down. All right, let me fix the scoreboard. First look at Shador Sanders. All right, here we go. All right, Shador's first snap here. 1st and 10. Got Deontay Johnson out. They're going to run a little duo. Dylan Sampson with a little run there. And look, I know all the attention right now is on Shador, but really, Dylan Sampson's going to be a key part of what the Browns want to do. Browns looking to run the ball a lot because of the Quinshon Judkins situation. They really are thin at running back, and it would be huge for them if Dylan Sampson can provide a decent rushing attack here. I expect Kevin to call heavy runs to start this off, given that this is Carolina's first team defense. They go empty here. He's going to throw it. Timing throw, bounced off the hands, just a little hard off Deontay Johnson. We're going to get our first 3rd and 5 of the day. Definitely a catchable ball for him. All right, 3rd and 5, Shador. They're going to send a little pressure here. Stay tall. Good. That should be close to a first. That's going to be just a little short. I would want to go for this, but we'll see how Kevin plays it. It is the preseason. Good process. That's more on the tight end than it is on Shador that it's not a first down. The tight end running that ball route has some flexibility there with their depth they should get behind the line. Unfortunately, he did not. The Browns are going to punt. Yeah, I know. I'm fixing the scoreboard now. All right, I got to pause it here. And then... so it's not that number. It's off. It's the bottom. Yeah, there you go. So, you know, not much to really glean there from that first drive. I expect the Browns to be pretty conservative while Carolina has their starters out here. I know, contrary to popular belief, the Browns are not trying to sabotage Shador Sanders, right? They're not trying to, you know, hang him out the dry in this situation. So they're going to protect him a little bit while they have the starters out there. We do get a look at Mason Graham and everybody coming up here.
Expected to be starters. They're really trying to turn around a historically bad defense from last season.
They put a lot of resources into that defensive front and an edge rusher. Starters out for the Panthers. Bryce Young under center.
Good push by the Browns pocket there. We would like to get a little bit of a better stop, but very good push by the pocket.
Steve, it's been a roller coaster the first 2 years, but that roller coaster was heading in the right direction at the end of last season. Absolutely. Obviously, the first couple of weeks was tough to watch. However, Bryce Young stayed in it.
All right, 2nd and 6. Browns get a little bit of pressure and a drop. 3rd and 6. It looks like week 1 preseason football a little bit here, right? Both teams getting acclimated to that live contact. Sometimes you see that.
Which is a little bit behind. Panthers return the offensive line from a year ago.
Saw Mason get some good push there. He was double teamed. Not something that you expect to happen too much during the regular season for him, given that Miles is on this defensive line. But while Miles is not active, he's going to get that kind of attention there. All right, 3rd down, money down here for the defense. And pressure. Oh, he slips away from it, but he doesn't get away from Alex Wright. And the Browns get a sack. That's what you want to see. It's about what we expected from this Browns defensive unit. Again, we know that this team's defense is going to be the strength, right? All right, I think I got the preseason banner finally fixed. Appreciate the memberships that we're getting right now. All right. 1 drive apiece for each team. Not much really happening there. On Shador's first drive, for those of you who did not get to see it, we're getting a lot of memberships. Appreciate it. Somebody must have gifted some subs. I'm sorry, I can't read it right now. Appreciate whoever gifted subs. But so far, first drive, Shador Sanders didn't really get to showcase much. They ran the ball. Dylan Sampson got about 6 yards on first down, which is something that you like to see, especially with the second team offensive line. And then you got Shador threw a ball to Deontay Johnson. Deontay lets it smack off his hands. Should have been a completion there. And then on 3rd down, Shador comes back, finds the ball route. If you watch the Browns, you know they run mesh with the ball route over top. Ball route always ran by the number 1 tight end, or at least their tallest tight end. The tight end that ran the ball route just did not curl in behind the sticks. That's on the tight end. Shador did a good job finding him there. So not much you could take away from it, but still a decent showing, right? What you want to see when he's out there against the starters is just don't embarrass yourself, right? Look like you belong, and so far, so good there. Browns defense gets a lot of pressure on that defensive line. It's something we've been anticipating. And then also they did a good job finishing the drive, right? Getting off the field on third down, which was something that was a pain in their ass last year. So, good stuff there. Good stuff there. Appreciate whoever gifted those those subs. I think we got 20 gifted from Sly. Appreciate you. We getting 20 people with new memberships in the chat. Appreciate that. I'm gonna get the second drive from Shador, and yes, there should be starters on the field here for the Carolina Panthers. Again, we know how Stefanski likes to get down when he has younger quarterbacks. He's not really gonna start out throwing the ball a million times, right? If Stefanski can get away with running the ball, he will run that ball. I expect more of the same here, right? They're going to run this ball on first down, see what they can get. And, the more comfortable they feel with Shador, the more they throw. Yeah, man. Somebody mentioned it. Mason Graham slimmed down a ton. He looks great. Mason Graham looks awesome physically. It's shocking. You look at a picture of when he got drafted to now, and just look at his face. He's cut up significantly. I don't know who he's gotten with in the offseason. I don't know if he got with Myles Garrett, but he has done a great job with his body during the break period, obviously.
Jake, your keys for Carolina. I think the biggest thing is play fast and play tempo. That's what Coach Canales has been preaching, and that's what they wanted to do in the first drive.
All right. Second drive for Mr. Sanders here. Y'all really locked in. I saw somebody say, I ain't drinking. I want to pay attention. That'll make me break out my Cajun nuts. All right. Browns must have got a decent return. Little pressure up the middle. Stays poised. Finds a screen. Great play call. Great play call. Great poise by Shador. Good play call. Feeling the pressure, seeing that Carolina wanted to get something there. Shador does a good job not panicking when that linebacker comes up the A-gap. Gets rid of the ball calmly to the running back. Runs the play as planned. Nice. All right, 1st and 11. Browns pass the 50. Shador drops back. Takes a strike downfield. There's going to be a flag on that play, right? There's no flag on that? There's no flag on that play. I guess it wasn't a catchable ball. Yeah, they're going to go uncatchable? Or is it offensive OPI? Somebody saying? Big up, Quincy, watching you from the UK. Love the content. Looking forward to a good year of football. Appreciate you. Yeah, they took a shot there. Hey, look, the Browns are more confident with Shador than I expected here. Run play here. We're going to be in 3rd and long. Linebacker shot that up. These are the money downs for a young quarterback, right? If you can convert on 3rd and long consistently, that's gonna raise some eyebrows for him in that quarterback room. So these are the moments right here for Shador where he can really change things about how he's viewed, because 3rd and 9, that's where you make money in the NFL right here. Little pressure. He's gonna run. He's gonna get it. And a 1st down for Shador Sanders. The mobility looks good. That was a big question. I mean, I had huge question marks about his mobility coming out of college, and he looked pretty athletic there. Give him credit. Got out there, rolled out, didn't waste any time, slid, got the 1st down. This gets first-team guys. What I love about that run there was it was decisive, All right, 1st and 10. Close to scoring range now. Got a one-on-one look up top. They're going to run it around with the tight end, or is that Floria? Damn. Ooh. Oh. Ouch. Oh. Oh. Oh, football's back. 89 went on a ride. He got spine busted, RKO. That was a 3D right there. That was 3D. Get the tables. Get the tables. My God. Well, we get the one end around every year, right? 2nd and 12. Play action look here. Stay on your feet. Just get rid of it. Oh, he missed him. He just missed him. That happens, right? Nerves out there. Would have been a nice conversion here on 3rd and 12. Missed him there. Probably just got a little too excited on the throw. I like that he found him, though, right? Like to be able to reset, stay poised, find him. All right, 3rd and 12. Shotgun look. Look like they're giving him a blitz look. They don't send anybody. He has 4 in there. Jamari Thrash up the middle. 4th and 2. I know people want to go for it, but you got to get the kicking rep in, right? The kicking rep, you're going to give Shador so many reps today. I don't think you need to get the extra ones. You need to get the kicker to kick a field goal because we don't know if he's good or not. Nice throw, though. Nice way to battle back. I mean, in a real game situation, right, even if you don't convert there, that makes your field goal significantly easier. Oh, they're going for it. Okay. Shador. Now that's what you got to avoid there. That's what we've been. I was hoping he would avoid. Right there. Can't have that. Right. That was one of the big things from his tape. Right. So, so far, I would say most of the plays here were pretty positive for him. The missed throw, not a big deal. He has to understand. I think he understands himself, right? Because you could just see his reaction after that. Can't get away with that in the NFL, right? The roll around, the run around, rolling. Can't get away with that against NFL defensive linemen, especially on 4th and 2, right? You got to just find where you want to go, get rid of that ball, and fire it, right? That's how you win on 4th and 2 most of the time. So that's something for the young quarterback to learn. And remember, even if Shador is good, even if Shador is a starting caliber quarterback, and it's not guaranteed that he's going to be that right away, he would have shit that he needs to fix like that, right? Like that's normal. And that was one of those things where you're like, all right, you want to see this limited. What I want to see him do is come back on that next drive, get in a similar situation, and then step up instead of rolling out, right? I want to see him correct that mistake at some point in this game. But that's going to happen. Your first live contact, you're going to fall back on some old bad habits. It's about how you correct those habits going forward that matters, right? I'm not going to dog it because something happened to you one time. It's how you correct them. If someone said it's a bad play call, okay, man, tell me what the play was. People be talking about it's a bad play call, but what was the play? Tell me what the play was. What did they run there? What concept? Were they running bunch? What were they trying to run out of bunch? What were they trying to do? What made it a bad play call? Like, what happened on that play was Shador probably hesitated a little bit to get the ball out. We'll see when the tape comes out. And then he felt pressure, and he did the zigzag thing, and it was over once he did the zigzag thing. Or somebody just blew it up, right? I mean, in a real game, you're probably taking a field goal. But it's a preseason game. I just see how this defense shows up.
Otherwise, here in Charlotte, we've had some rain, but not as hot as it's been most of the summer. Can't complain with temperatures in the 80s in August. And for Bryce Young, this offense, they went 3 and out the first time. Second series, Chuba Hubbard is the running back. Tannehill and McMillan lined up wide to the right. Thielens the motion man. Showing blitz. They bring it.
Up in the air. Oh, wow. Is that Ted McMillan? Who was that? Was that 25? Who was the corner? 35. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this guy's going to make the roster. So, like, to be fair, I don't know how critical to be here. I'm just going to use it as a jumping off point. The Browns don't have great corner depth right now. Oh, yeah. I think Mason Graham might have had a welcome to the league moment there. He got put on his ass a little bit.
You can't distance from the sideline. That is so critical, especially for a receiver. You take off, you want to get past the guy. You lose you get right to the sideline.
By the way, we got 1,300 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. All right, we're on. Oh, Schlesinger in there for a TFL. He had a quick out, but the guy could have spooked him from trying to throw it. If he needs to learn if he can scramble out from that's learning experience. Yeah, I got to see what. Oh, there's a little bit of a scrabble going on here, but yeah, I got to see what it was on tape. I'm looking forward to that. But we'll see. We'll see. He probably did have something quick. I mean, it's 4th and 3. I don't think Kevin would call something long developing. Most guys call something quick there, and Kevin usually calls something quick in those moments. I don't know what that was about. It ain't even like they've been practicing with each other long enough to have beef like that. You know what I mean?
But the one thing about the second down play this morning, we didn't get much.
Oh, it's offsetting? What? I guess it's going to be a quick pull in the preseason. I guess. Hey, we got mods in the chat. We got bots in here. We got to get rid of these bots. Mason Graham is pushing people around low key. Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking good. Sweats made a play too. Got a TFL.
So I like the enthusiasm to say, hey, and the preseason is about establishing what you want to do the rest of the year.
All right, 3rd and 5. Oh, IMAC jumped off sides. And they're going to take the penalty. They're going to take the penalty. Was it 3rd and 5? That's going to be a first down. Mike Hall is still injured. If somebody asking for it. Mike Hall is still injured, y'all.
Let's finish it off. Yes, I know we have competition, but let's finish it off with a touchdown.
And there's going to be a run. Browns defensive line not having any of that. Carson Schlesinger right there on the tackle. And we're in 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 8. Yeah, DQ in the preseason game is rare. All right, 2nd and 9 here for the Panthers. Browns defense has only given up the one play downfield to Ted McMillan. They got a lot of guys on this line of scrimmage right now. They only send 4. And Schlesinger didn't get back in time. They showed blitz, he didn't get back. Again, that's going to be one of the big stories about this Browns team, I think, as we go forward into the season is I think this secondary is very thin. I think when you have Denzel out there with Greg, it'll be fine enough. I'm concerned about Cam in the slot. He has not been impressive in camp. Miles Harden has been impressive, but he hasn't been impressive enough to make me think he's ready to start. Like the Browns have serious depth issues at corner here. And they're going to roll this one out and, again, take advantage of that corner situation. That's Adam Thielen running away from Miles Harden. And you see they probably set up Adam Thielen in the slot. Yep, put him in the slot, let him run over, 26, bites on the hitch, and then he runs away from him. That's kind of what I've been seeing at camp a lot is the slot corner situation is not looking great. If I'm the Panthers, I'm probably going to attack that again. Keep in mind, like 29 and 26 are fighting to start at that slot position right now. Defensive line still solid. Honestly, the second team looks good going up against starters. Yeah, I mean, the defensive line looks solid. I mean, Myles Garrett's obviously going to be a difference maker. And then obviously for the secondary, Denzel Ward's going to be a huge difference maker, right? I think that's the big thing. The secondary is not that deep, and you're going to see that be taken advantage of in the preseason. Yeah, again, Mitchell just got beat right there. Is that Schlesinger on the ground? Is he okay? Okay, he's cool. He's cool. I thought he got hurt. Yeah, the ball's there. The move was there. Not a stop I would be proud of if I'm the Browns. I mean, look at that space that he has on Cam Mitchell right now. Oh. Yeah, that's probably a stop if Miles is out there, so I'm not really too concerned about it. But yeah, I've never seen a first team double a rookie this much in the preseason. Oh yeah, with Mason. I mean, the nature of how it goes, right? Where there's 5 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen, somebody's gonna get doubled. And if there's somebody to double with this alignment of guys out there, it's gonna be the 5th overall pick. So that makes a little sense to me. But I like how Mason's handling that challenge, right? You look at the Browns, you look at this drive, 2's going up against 1s, obviously, so you're not really drawing too much from this, right? But the front 7 looks fine, right? Run stop, all that, they were fine. Where you have your concern about the Cleveland Browns is the secondary on the defensive side. Because, yeah, is Miles Harden going to start at slot this year? Probably not. But Cam Mitchell is, and Cam Mitchell's getting beat pretty easy. And unfortunately for Cam, it's been like that all day at camp, every day. So that's a huge question mark with Cam Mitchell, right? Is he ready for this role that he's been forced into with the injury of Martin Emerson? And if there is an injury, which there likely will be during the season for a small period of time for either Denzel Ward or Greg Newsome, both these guys are no strangers to missing games. You don't really have adequate guys to put in behind them. So I'd expect the Browns to be pretty aggressive in the 53-man cut down market for corners. Like if there's one position where the Browns are willing to let a lot of their guys go and bring a lot of other people's guys in, I think corner is definitely right up there because not a lot of these camp bodies are really showing anything. And everybody not named Denzel and Greg Newsome feel very replaceable at this point. Ray Rag says, look, if Carolina didn't score with their ones, I'd have been very surprised. Yeah, I mean, they got the big throw to Tent, right? Tent was covered by I forget my man's name, but number 35, he's a practice squad player for this team, right? So it's not like a real representative kind of experience there. Even that last play where Bryce got the roll around, that's fun in the preseason, but if that's Myles Garrett, he's not holding that ball that long, and that wide receiver's not getting it that much time to get open, right? So, yeah, I really want to be concerned about anything I've seen from the front seven there. The secondary, though, I think my concerns about the secondary are deeper than just this game. You know what I mean? It's from what I've seen in camp, too. So that's the only reason I'm kind of going on and on about the secondary, because I do think it's a real problem for this team. As far as Shador goes, first 2 drives going up against their first team, I thought he showed some stuff that was promising of a young player. He also showed that he still needs a little bit more seasoning, right? Or at least more snaps out there, because he did default to a couple of bad habits here, which is part of the course for a quarterback of his age and experience. So, just kind of as expected, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of hype and expectation on this preseason game, but this has kind of gone as expected. Am I tripping? Am I not live anymore? No, I'm still live. Why is it not showing up? That's so strange. Yeah, it wasn't showing up on my page because I was looking for the pop-out chat. All right.
Bryce Young, 4 for 6, 58 yards. Touchdown pass to Jalen Coker. At the end of the day, the first string is forward and fields the kickoff on the back.
He's been fun in camp. 37's been super fun. Real quick guy, real jittery.
Jake, we saw some good, and then we also saw Trump. Let's see back up.
Got a new member. Appreciate that. Chris Gustafaro says, hey, happy football season. Let's hope for the best. Absolutely. All right, 1st and 10.
Shador Sanders to
Nice. Quick decision here.
Panthers now have taken out most of
I know people were like, well, why aren't they giving him the first team? Shador looks really comfortable with these guys because he's been practicing a ton with these guys. I think putting him out there with the unit that he's been practicing with is good for him, right? All right, reset. 2nd and 5. It's not really much here. Good run. Is that Amani Marshall, the undrafted free agent, with a nice little 5-yard run? Brown's getting some good push on this offensive line.
The weather report is brought to you by Solar Express. 77-degree weather here in mid-August.
This is gorgeous. I flew up from Louisiana, and it wasn't that. Let me just explain that to you. So the Panthers will have to get ready when they go to Houston.
Single high, trips left.
Shador Sanders still in there.
Counter run play. Good run by Marshall. Gets to the corner. So I think we're probably done. Are we going to be done with Sampson for the rest of the day? Good run by Marshall. Way to hit that corner. He's a big fella, too. I've been hearing a lot about him. Dragon says Marshall's going to be that guy. I think we got a Dobbs Award candidate right now. Nice couple of runs from him. Brown's going empty. Empty tray left. Empty tray left. Now it's Deuce. They got a blitz at the end, gets rid of it quickly, and they sniffed it out. All right, 37. Make some money here. Make some money. Again, for Shador, these 3rd and 7 reps are going to be the ones where he really gets the chance to change some minds here, you know?
Listening to him talking about the NFL, it just comes down to that's what
Oh, choice route. Him and Canella not on the same page. It was a choice route. You get to either sit or you running out. And Canella's sad. I don't know why he's sad. But we'll look at the tape on that. But that looks like a choice.
defense we've seen tonight. We've made some good tackles on defense. That's one thing I've seen. I think we're playing hard, and that's exactly what the coaches have preached.
Keep calling my name.
First look at Trevor Etienne.
Okay, they got ETN back out there. Booming punt from Corey Bojorquez. Oh, he fumbled. Uh-oh. Bookie Watson got it. He's at the 7. And the Browns will get the ball back. Nice. Okay, red zone drill. Red zone drill. Come on. Get back on the field. Get the ball to a Marshall. I'm trying to see something. I know everybody wants to see the quarterback. So maybe you should throw the ball a little bit. But this running back has my eyes peaked. Big number 39. Let's see what he can fucking do. Where did this kid play? Amani Marshall, App State. I'm not familiar with him. Corey Bojorquez is still our best player. Yep. Not better than Miles, but he's pretty damn good.
Yes.
Instead of being mixed, it's really they bumped into it. So that you gotta run immediately. If you feel something, get away.
You also have to say fire, fire, fire. Which that alerts the people around you cannot see to get it.
Just be curious.
Ball at the 10, little red zone drill.
Take a mind. You have a suspect blocker. Side. You got to take place. You got a good blocker on the right, John Cooper. You got maybe somebody suspect on the
This kid can fucking run, man. There's no way he should have got anything on that. He's pretty fast. Maybe I got to see what it looks like in his first team, because it might just be he's fast versus these guys.
He just caused so many problems that he actually made on this last play. He got the backfield penetration immediately. He's just
They're going to call timeout. Oh, let the quarter run. One quarter into the preseason, and it's clear our best player is still number 13. He's the best guy on the field right now. He's changing the game for the team right now. But in all seriousness, I think it's about what most people expected that you would get out of the first quarter of this preseason game, realistically. I don't know what the discourse has been online already. I'm sure it's toxic, but I mean, this is just realistically what you expect. Nothing bad, nothing too bad, nothing too good. Ray Rag says, so I was thinking about how bad our run game had been. I remember how bad it really could be in 2013 when our leading running back was Willis McGahee with 377 yards in 12 games with a nice 2.7 yards. I remember that season. I remember being excited for Willis McGahee, dog. And that was not like Willis McGahee. That was Willis McGahee's cooked. That was cooked Willis McGahee on that Browns team. It was kind of sad to watch. Do you think this team's peak is maybe 8 wins? Nah, I think if this team gets good quarterback play, right? I think that's how I would define their peak is if they get above average or average quarterback play. I think this is a team that could easily win 9-10 games. More than likely, they're not going to get that. So we're probably talking about a 6 to 8 win team. And also it depends on how their field goal kicking goes. Team like this is going to play with low margins on offense. Field goal kicking is going to be really, 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 really important for them. Look like Travion Henderson had a nice little return. Oh. He just had a kickoff return touchdown. It's awesome. All right, we're back.
Cleveland, to me, their strength is their center, their 2 guards. I just think they're dominant inside run game. And they haven't played them tonight.
Second and goal. Play action look here. Oh, good throw. And that's a touchdown. Great throw. Let's see the highlight on that. That looked like a great throw from broadcast. Hey, the windows get small in the end zone. Nice backup throw. Ooh, that's a dime. That is a dime. That's a dot. That's a certified dot. That was a dot from 12. I mean, that's a ballsy decision to make that throw. We'll see how the sideline feels about that. But boy, was that a dot. Woo!
Adjusting to the speed and listening to him. I didn't get a ton of reps in the spring and him learning this offense and continuing. But the football, that's an issue. I think it might take a little time. You know,
wow. Good throw. Way to finish that off, right? I mean, last year in the preseason, we didn't finish any of this shit in the red zone. So I love to see that improvement. Steve Smith already hating. He bringing up the last name argument already. He threw that one touchdown. He was like, hold on, are we just overvaluing that? I thought that was a nice throw. Obviously, it's not the nicest throw in the world, but those windows are really tight in the red zone, right? You got to zip it in there. That was in between 3 guys, right at the right spot. Good timing. It's nice. It's nice.
it's amazing to me. When you play, you were so cool-headed, so you never called it.
That was a dot. All right. Oh, somebody gifted a bunch of subs again. Guess we getting a touchdown gift right here, huh? Yeah, we got Sly with another 20 gifted. Someone said that was an NFL throw. I would agree. Like, again, I don't want to make too much of it, right? Because it is the preseason. I talked about it. We have seen guys in the preseason look like absolute all-stars and then like nothing in the regular season. So again, I don't want to get too carried away here. But that's a tight window red zone throw that he's going to be asked to make routinely in the Browns offense, right? Like that's applicable to the body of work that he's going to see in an NFL game. Now, in an NFL game, window would be tighter. Does somebody make a play on that ball? Is that a sound decision? That's a whole nother conversation to have. But just given that he's playing what's in front of him, that's a great play. You know, can't really take away too much. Can't just project it away. We got a ton of, we gonna get to all these super chats, man. We gonna get to all these super chats. All right, Andy Dalton out there. Oh, good job, Tony Brown. I think Tony Brown's been pretty impressive during camp. Two guys to watch during this period. Tony Brown and number 41, Chris Edmonds. Those two have been pretty impressive. Buckeye Steve says, Quincy, I swear I watched a video about not overreacting to the preseason, but I'm about to overreact. I expect it. Couple more throws like that, the whole city gonna be overreacting. Yeah, see, they got Tony Brown playing like straight up corner right now. That's not good. But he's been fine. Does not look like Mason Grant. Oh, he did not catch that. There is no chance on God's green earth that was actually caught. That looked like that shit hit the ground. Let me see. Touchdown, super chats have me missing Chubb. Absolutely. He did not. Did he?
Sudden movements. That's how he fancied himself, and he's now in the receiver role. He's a potential game winner.
The other thing I like about Shador's game is it doesn't look like he's trying that hard. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, like, the game looks like it flows to him pretty comfortably. And he has demonstrated some decent poise outside that one play. Oh, great play by Winston Reed. That's Cobb's guy. What's the flag? What's the flag? Holding on them? They might not take it. Why would you want 2nd and 11? I guess they want the word. I would take 3rd and 3. Somebody.
Two rookies at the bottom of your screen, McMillan, Warren. Here's the blitz, quick screen.
All right, you get the 3rd and long. Chris Edmonds on the tackle there.
So when you watch Jimmy Horn's tape, you were amazed how often he got open.
I was amazed how much he got open and didn't get the opportunity when you watch.
Yeah, I think they took Mason Graham and Schlesinger out. I think that's it for the day 1, day 2 guys.
Jimmy.
I don't think Dylan Sampson's coming back in either.
The DB.
Cam Mitchell is still out there, which tells you they're not very happy with where he is in this competition. Edmonds looking good. He's been looking good in camp. Ooh, who is that? Came right out of a cannon, Okora. All right. And keep in mind, like, this is the Browns' 3rd team going up against the Panthers' 2nd team at this point. Because Andy Dalton's their backup, right? Like, we went through their starters. So, you know, these reps are, if they're looking good on these reps, it's not nothing. You know what I mean? I think it is a lot more encouraging than the preseason was last year, because the preseason was god-awful last year. I don't know how many of y'all were around for that, but the preseason was just awful.
To kick it away.
Ooh, let it bounce, kid. Let it bounce. Oh, God. Oh, God. I know you want to make a play, but kid, let it die. You gotta let it bounce. Gotta let it bounce. Gotta let it bounce. You're backed up on your 5. Why are you catching the ball? This is the NFL. And then you bobble it. Oh, re-kick. Are we gonna get bailed out here?
So your heels are supposed to be on the 8-yard line. And if
Yeah, you step back from the 8. I think Steve Smith's explaining it. Re-kick. Re-kick. Yeah. I absolutely blame Bubba Ventrone for this, man. Every single Bubba Ventrone kick returner acts like that rule doesn't exist, which tells me that rule must not exist in that room, because how many times have y'all watch me on one of these streams and I'm bitching about where the punt returner's catching the ball? Like, you could raise your hand in chat. How many of y'all heard me complain about this at some point during the season, where I'm like, why are we catching this? Why all the way into 5? Every year. Are they going to pick up the flag? So
that's why, because he was the guy natural down the field.
A legendary litigator.
Nothing will work without.
okay, so they picked up the flag. It's preseason for them too. Yeah, someone said the only potential starters are available. This is from Daniel Ofusi, who says Baker, Anuzium, Kamara, and Mitchell are the only rotation guys in there. Yeah, so far, I mean, like, anything that's better than last year's preseason, I'm fine with. That apparently was not a good omen going into this season. So, yeah, it seems like the offense looks better than they did in the preseason last year as far as like finishing drives. They still haven't had a long sustained drive. I think that's what you want to see next from Shador in this game is, okay, you got good field positioning because of the muffed punt. Let's get down the field, sustain the drive, and finish it, right? I think he got down to the 30, did a good job getting down to the 30 on his second drive of the game, but wasn't able to convert on that 4th down. Probably had his worst play of the night there. Let's come back down and let's drive down the field. You're going to get a long-ass field here, right? You're going to start with the ball at the 5. Let's get a nice long drive here. I think if he gets a nice long drive here, I would almost be tempted to say, call it a night. He showed what you wanted to show.
Official sponsor, the NFL.
But yeah, just works in steps. You just want to see him be able to do things. And, as we get to see the other quarterbacks in the preseason, we'll see what they're able to do versus similar competition. And I think that will also kind of color how we view how he's been in the preseason. But I think so far, so good. Nice throw in the red zone, finishing the drill. Now I want to see him get a nice sustained drive here, It's going to be tough here being backed up all the way at your 5. But if he could do that, I think that'd be very impressive.
Your starting offensive line, right? They're all returning. That's got to be big for your confidence.
All right, Shador here, 1st and 10. They're going to run it. Browns get about 2-3 yards there on 1st down.
that goes a lot for getting the touchdown.
Let's talk about that second drive that ended in the
The reason you want to see a long drive here, right, is one, he's going to get a drive eventually in the preseason where he stays ahead of the sticks, looks really good. I expect that for most of these quarterbacks, that they're able to stay ahead of the sticks in this system, they'd be able to look good. But you want to see him get out of some trouble, make a couple of plays to get downfield. Like, you're going to have to do that. Some off coverage here.
the rest of the
I don't know what 84 was doing there. But third and short. See if Stefanski goes ace 92 or ace 93. Mesh with the ball route over. We'll see what the personnel is. Not much Harold feigning today so far. Good catch. What's the flag? Is it going to be a hold? Cohen looks like he got caught doing something bad. 67 looked like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Can they slow their minds down?
First procedural penalty of the day. Don't want it to happen on third down. Still a makeable. And to be fair to Shador today, they've put him in a lot of third and long today. This is his fourth third and long of the day. That's what you wanted to see, right? Coming off of that one drive where he panicked a little bit, rolled out. I mean, all the reason in the world to freak out there, right? Because potentially you could get a safety. He's all the way in his own end zone. Stays calm, stays patient, does not freak out, stands tall in that pocket, throws a strike with the anticipation throughout the middle of the field. That's impressive, right? Again, I don't care if you make the mistake the first time. Can you recognize it and then improve upon it? And that's what you want to see. Browns get some play action momentum here. He's going to run. Don't need you taking a hit, but first down. And now he's starting to look confident. He's looking like he's in rhythm now. Let's see if the Browns call a shot here. Usually they would. 2nd and 1. You just had some rhythm on that play action. You're getting downfield. He looks like he's going. If Kevin is calling these plays, he's probably calling the shot. I don't know. They're out a bunch left. A tight bunch, too. All right, run it. Run it, 3rd and 1. Yeah, they brought in 3 number 80s. And what they're going to do here. It's a first down.
Keeper, this will be close. To measure the first downs for the preseason games.
Yeah, it's a first down.
You see in tennis with the ball going in or
You don't even need to get the Hawkeye out. All right, Shador's in a nice rhythm. Remember, this drive started on 5. Let's keep it going.
Get it at some point. They still have
Hey, probably running with Marshall here.
to indicate.
Pretty light box. They swarmed it. They swarmed it. Yeah, they got the numbers there. It was what, 6 in the box. Pretty loose coverage. But Bobby Brown blew that shit up.
Season defensive front.
2nd and 13.
With put up with Derek. We need these big bodies. We had issues stopping the run last year, and he's one of those pieces that hopefully we'll hear a great deal from this season.
Panthers run defense historically bad last year. It was the biggest point of emphasis in the offseason.
A little dangerous of a throw there, but again, I like that he stood tall in that pocket. I care more about that element of it than the actual result of the play here. Again, the process matters, right? And I think he had a chance to complete that if he got that ball where he wanted it to. It just didn't go where he wanted it. Either way, I think the goal for this drive, we'll talk about it in just a second. Get rid of the ball. No. Just get rid of the damn ball. You lost a yard. That drive, though, is a success if you're looking at it from the coach's perspective, because you started at the 5. All you want out that drive, if you're the Browns at that point, is to flip field position, right? Now that you got the ball to the 40, you're giving Corey Bojorquez a chance to flip field position. So, you know, it's not a success as in you got points or you kicked a field goal, but bare minimum, you wanted to flip field position to be able to say, hey, you did something there, right? To change the game in a positive way. Unfortunately, Corey doesn't get his best boot off here, but a great oh, nope. All right. So cool. Yeah, you flip field position, because what could have happened is you went 3 and out, and we've seen this. You go 3 and out at the 5, you punt the ball at the 5, and you either get that thing blocked or it only goes to the 50. Now you have successfully flipped field position for them. So that's really the goal when you're backed up that far on your own territory. If you get the score out of that, that's a double plus, but just flipping the field right there is a plus. But again, he's got to stop that shit. And now look, I'm going to be real with you. One AFC North game is probably going to kill that habit. Because the rolling around, again, that's real fun. Second quarter preseason game, and you know, I know people think he can do that in the NFL. I'm just telling you right now, he does that against Pittsburgh. He does that against Baltimore. He does that against Minnesota. He does that against Detroit. He's going to figure out that he's going to learn a lesson really quick, right? He's going to have a welcome to the NFL moment pretty quickly there. But yeah, I would say it's a successful drive. I know some people are going to categorize it as unsuccessful because they didn't score, but that'd be successful. He's got to stop that rolling around shit, though. He really does. He's going to take one hell of a hit. You know? Yeah, I think that's of all the good things you could say about him, I think the one thing you could say that's truly not been positive about it is way too much of that roller coaster stuff. And again, he's going to get away with it in preseason. I'm not worried about it in preseason. I'm worried about it when, shit get real. Winston Reed with another play. Got to mark him down. Winston Reed's been impressive.
Stacks it, and he goes that way. He gets tied up a little bit, and all of a sudden he gets off of his marker. It's a left return. When he flips the field, that's when everybody loses leverage. That's when he wasn't able to have any blockers.
And he tells him, but there is Jim Horn Jr. Catch for the rookie of Colorado.
Combination right there with the two rookies.
All right, third down.
Outside China route. Six versus zone. And he gets the big side.
This game's been going by quick. We're almost at halftime. About an hour in.
It's pitch and catch.
Jimmy tripped a little bit because I know when he came back inside,
Oh, nope, he didn't get into the neutral zone. Nah, bro, that's got to be an OPI. Yeah, they're calling that shit. That's got to be an OPI. That's got to be an OPI. He stiff-armed him for like 5 seconds. They call that pass interference. I lose all faith. Is Sanders on the bench after the quarter ends? He might come out, play a couple drives in the third.
it's a great catch, great throw. That's really important.
That's a fucking stiff arm. That wasn't offside. Okay. It was some shit in the trenches. What?
Panthers signed last year. Started 3 games for the Panthers a year ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we get the 15-yard penalty and it's third down? They didn't offset? That doesn't feel right.
It's free play. So just get rid of it when you have a face mask. So disregard the fire. They don't even assess the other. It's third and three. Well, just that's a little bit. I guess it's preseason, right?
Yeah, 3rd and 21. Jeez. The Greg Williams defense right now, huh? And a rally. Yeah, tackling's a lot better, even though that wasn't a great display of tackling just now, but it was fine. Tackling's a lot better than it was last year.
Not a body.
All right, 2-minute drill for Shador. Let's get it.
He's
So far, I think I would categorize this as a positive night for him.
With the catch of the penalty.
hitting yardage.
You can see he's still battling with some of these habits in the pocket, but, you know, I think that's fine, right? As long as he's demonstrating, as long as he's demonstrating some growth at times, right? Like you see him battling. There's a couple of bad habits here. You know, I think it's going to take one real NFL hit to really cement, you know, that you shouldn't roll away like that.
Here you go, buddy. Have fun.
It's not going to be pretty.
Let it not go as planned.
We get to hang out with NFL fans all season long. Be on game day.
What's your favorite hotel brand? You know, chat. Well, let's get into that. It's about to be that time. Like once Snoop Huntley come out here, we're gonna have to find some shit to argue about. So, yeah, what's your favorite hotel brand? I'm trying to see something real quick. You know? Why Carter not returning punts and kicks? Because he's already the starter. I know Bubba Ventrone even acting like there's a competition there. He said it. Like he said in the press conference a couple of days ago, was it DeAndre Carter? He's the starter. So he's not going to play. Well, he played a little bit, but he's not going to be out there for most of the game. So it said Marriott, Hyatt supremacy. Somebody said the True by Hilton. I like Hilton's. I'm a Hampton Inn guy. Hampton Inn and Suites guy. I like Hampton Inn and Suites. I've had great experiences with Hampton Inn and Suites. I don't like Holiday Inns that much. I hate to say it. I don't really like Holiday Inns. Yeah, my experience with Holiday Inns is that they're not that much better than like a La Quinta. Marriott, I don't think I remember the last time I was in a Marriott. Motel 6. Hey man, Motel 6 ain't that bad if you gotta do it, dog. Motel 6 ain't that bad. Embassy Suites, that's Hilton. Yeah, Hilton. Super 8? Nah, I can't do Super 8 no more. Someone said they want to see a D-Hop field goal attempt. Hampton Inn got the good breakfast. They got the andouille sausage that they chop up. Oh! Only they had like chicken andouille. Doubletree? Yeah, Doubletrees are cool. Doubletrees are cool. I always feel like I'm paying too much though when I'm at a Doubletree. All right, Browns are back. Little play action. Dump off. It's not going to do nothing.
Just coming out of the game, undrafted rookie from Arkansas State. Ran 5 picks for the Red Wolves a year ago. As you take a look at Nick Scorton, who made the hustle play of the game.
He certainly did, and that's something that when I'm watching him, I just go back to Dan Morgan's initial press conference.
Nick Scarson's already bought.
On this football team.
Respect.
That's what Nick Scorton is playing. He plays a relentless mode. He practices that way, and it's evident in the game. And that's going to get rewarded in film because what he just did.
All right, get rid of it. Oh, got it. Floria with one hell of a catch. Oh, dog. 37 could play, man. 37 could play a little bit. Let it hit to 2. Let it hit to the 2. You got it. That wasn't even like Shador overthrew it. Floria, look at this catch by him, dog. One-handed. And then he pulls his hamstring. He probably pulled his hamstring. Oh no. One-handed catch while pulling your hamstring, and if that's how his camp ends, that's a hell of a way to go out. You hear about La Quinta Inn outsourcing the front desk. Oh, they're the ones who outsource the check-ins? That's crazy. We're living in a crazy world right now. We got a super chat from Akalon. Where did I get that hat from? When I was in Cleveland, I got it at the locker room by Lids in Strongsville. It was $40 though. So I would not recommend that it's a good deal. But if you like the hat enough to spend $40 on it, then yeah, go ahead, do it. Ray Rag says the way he's rolling out, probably a good time thing unless he bails out. He doesn't start early. in the season. Going to get smoked by TJ doing that. Yeah, like when he rolls out, or if he's like, I brought this up, when he's running to where his body is, I don't have a problem with that, right? Because he's still looking downfield. He's making plays downfield. That's just normal quarterback play. What the only thing that I have an issue is if when he's doing the turnaround, right? The multiple turnaround twirls and spins, that shit's not helpful. You know, the other stuff, yeah, that could be useful. He seems like a better athlete than I gave him credit for right now. So like he can roll out a little bit, make a couple of plays. That's fine. How you spell Luke Floria's last name? Oh, there was another E in there. I think the main thing that I think is positive when Shador's been out there is that the ball's been moving, that they've been able to have plays happen successfully. You know, the offense looks functional, right? It doesn't look like it's this dysfunctional mess, which can happen in a preseason. If Luke Floria isn't hurt, he is definitely getting the Austin Watkins Award. He's the front runner, right? You know, for the Austin Watkins Award.
The Carolina Panthers.
He might make the damn team, dog.
It's got a lot of national attention, and rightly so. It's just a cool moment, too, to see the guys rally around young Jace.
I guess that's the thing that we're inspired by someone like Jace. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Good run. Good run. Run game's making me a little bit more encouraged. I think I was very discouraged a couple of days ago. I'm feeling much more encouraged right now. Much more encouraged. Again, it doesn't mean too much, but I'm feeling better about it. Hey, dog, a one-handed catch while pulling your hammy is crazy. You ever pulled your hammy? You know how hard it is to do something like catch a football while pulling your hamstring? That shit hurts, dog. You ever see a pull hamstring? It's like bruised. I mean, this shit hurts. It's violent. It's first. Oh, get up. North. Good job. All right, more red zone drills. This is what you wanted to see, right? Sustained drive. Let's finish it. 2-minute drill. 110. 3 timeouts. You got all the time in the world here. And you got a first down still. So you got 2 first down opportunities. Well, 1 first down opportunity. Length and Ransom out there.
Ransom's been one of the talks in training camp. Trying to pick out Ohio State, loves football, loves special teams, and they plays in practice, and they just say next to you. Plays fast, wants to hit everything. That's what you want. You know, guys like this.
All right, let's finish this drive off. Good block by 39 and touchdown. Great job there. First, we're going to get to Shador in just a second. Watch that play again. 39 did a great job picking up on that block. That's Amani Marshall again. We're going to have a nice conversation about the young man. He has been impressive today. And then Shador, I mean, like, hey, look, I think you could call it a day for him now, right? First half, 2 touchdowns, finished off a red zone opportunity, came back around, finished off another one. You can make the argument, should he have threw the 31, should he have threw the 89? It doesn't fucking matter. They scored.
Touchdown for Caden Davis and Steve. Yeah, listen.
This is an impressive outing for Shador. There's a couple of things you want to correct. There's a couple of things you want to correct here from him. But I would say impressive outing. I don't know if you need to. It looks like they're giving him the iPad, so they're going to work on stuff. But impressive outing, right? Got more gifted subs here. More gifted subs. Appreciate y'all, man. And again, notice Shador's best stuff is when he's standing tall in that pocket. I think that's when he's had his finest work, is when he's like deciding to plant and then throw. Because his ability as a passer is what's going to carry him. Like, he could do a couple of things as a runner. You know, I'm not trying to shut him down mobility-wise. But, man, when he's just letting his arm do the talking for him, he can make something happen here. And he's continued to show that he can make plays. And I think that's what you wanted to see out of him. I'm going to have to get to these guys real quick. I know the chat is going nuts right now. Chat is losing their mind. I can't even keep up with chat right now. I did a stream for a Browns postseason game. Chat was not this live. See here. I'm trying to figure out who is gifting these subs. Is it Sly again? Sly the touchdown gift guy. Nice. Nice. Y'all gotta get off my man G Bush. Y'all gotta get off my man G Bush. Someone said he ordering cheap watches. Y'all gotta, come on. If he ordering watches, they not cheap. They're moderately priced. Q, have you checked on G Bush? I pray for his. Y'all gotta get off my guy, man. Come on. I know he's posted a lot of Shador stuff. Y'all gotta ease up off of him, man. I'm not about to talk shit about my friend. I was about to say, Dustin, just don't pull your damn hamstring trying to make a play there.
Touchback is the 35 now.
I don't even need the nuts. Like, I feel like we got this one locked.
It's Tracy Smith saying,
The first time I bring my nuts out for this season, I want it to be special. You know, I want it to be regular season.
Closed captioning for the Panthers television network.
I mean, like, if you're just like going off the vibe, man, like, doesn't this team feel a lot better than last year watching them in the preseason? Like, serious question. Like, don't this team overall feel like a much better watch at this point than last year? Now, last year, I think they had significantly more injuries in camp, which led to them looking way worse. But like right now, I mean, this looks like a functional team. I don't know how good they're going to be, but they look functional. Are you worried about how much shotgun we're seeing? I don't think we're seeing an abnormal amount of shotgun. I mean, even if you're going to be running the ball a lot, you're still going to have to run the ball out of shotgun. I mean, that's just the NFL. Look at every team in the league. They run a lot of shotgun, even the 49ers. So I don't think we're seeing an abnormal amount of it. Yeah, I wouldn't freak out. All right, now don't give up a touchdown in 30 seconds now. I'm going to crash out if Gabriel starts before this guy. We'll see how Gabriel looks in camp going forward. But honestly, like, if Shador goes out last, I don't think that's a problem. Like, me personally, because I do think Shador has the most potential out of all these quarterbacks, I want Shador to go out there last. I want there to be no pressure to see anybody else, right? I want us to be done with the Joe Flacco / Kenny Pickett thing. I want us to be done with the Dylan Gabriel experiment by the time Shador gets out there, so Shador can really just get 8 games to develop. You know what I mean? I just want that, right? I don't want there to be the lingering pressure if Shador has a bad game. Oh, well, what does Dylan Gabriel look like? You know, I want all of that to be out the way. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if he goes out last. Dragon says also Shador QB1. I've seen enough. Hey, look, this is why Dylan Gabriel's got to get out there, got to compete, because if this is all we see in the preseason, I can't blame fans for feeling that way, so that's it. Q, you're going to hit 50K subs. Congrats, man. Nice seeing the grind pay off. Just trying to work every day. Got another super chat here. You're going to be 3rd and 2, and they let him get out of bounds. Aside from the pocket drifting, the kid is good. Accuracy is something the coaches can't ignore. Not saying he's him, but he's not him. No, he looks like he belongs. You know what I mean? And I think that's the number one thing Shador has been doing, no matter what opportunity he's been given, is he looks like he belongs with those opportunities. It's his poise, it's his patience, right? There are a couple of times where he makes some decisions that I don't really think are that great, but that's not really the bulk of what he's doing, right? He's staying patient, staying calm, playing at his own speed. Nothing looks like it's overwhelming him right now, and I think that's what's the most impressive thing about him. It makes you want to give him more just to see what he can handle, because he's doing a great job of taking on those responsibilities. And look, I'm going to be real with you. I know the narrative is that the Browns don't want him to play, or, the Browns don't have that much trust in him. We know how Kevin usually handles stuff like this. Look at how often he's let Shador get some freedom to attack downfield, to really open up this passing game, versus like what he's done in the past, where he's just basically relegated guys to just handing the ball off because he doesn't trust them. I think there is something to say about how he has allowed Shador to kind of play and call plays for him in this 2-minute situation. That indicates that there's a lot more trust there than there was at the beginning of this process. But yeah, I think it is more than valid for Browns fans to look at what they saw today and feel hopeful about it. Because again, he's not doing this in the 3rd and 4th quarter of the preseason like we've seen Johnny and, guys like Brady Quinn do. He's making these plays against guys who are going to play in the league, Like, these aren't plumbers.
Justin Herbert.
And another thing that I think is impressive that he dealt with, a lot of 3rd and longs while he was out there. He wasn't perfect on it. He was 2 for 4, but I think maybe even 3 for 5. Somebody give me the stat there. But I thought he handled that well, right? Those are the money downs. I think he's done enough today to really force some conversations into that quarterback room right now. Because until we see Dylan go out there and look this good, we have to assume that he doesn't, right? Until we see Kenny go out there and look this good, we have to assume that he doesn't. So, yeah. Somebody else brought it up in the comments, right? One of the other questions about Shador was the athleticism. Now, I don't think he's going to get away with doing the spins and the twirls and shit at the NFL level. I think that has to be cut out entirely. You could disagree with me on that all you want, but he's got to cut that out. And I think he knows that, because you can see how he reacts every time he does it. But the running, the scrambling looks a lot better than I thought it would. I thought he was like a high 4.8, maybe 4.9 guy. He looks like a 4.8 guy, like a low 4.8 guy. So the athleticism looks there. Said, watch the tape. There's no tape out. When the tape's out, I promise you I'm going to watch it, break it down for you on this channel. You must be new here. I'm going to watch the tape. I promise you that. Everybody here knows I'm going to watch the tape. And I'm probably going to watch it for like an hour. Like, the film breakdown's probably going to be very long. But I thought they were trying to sabotage Sanders. That was a goofy narrative. Can't wait till the actual season starts. Yeah, I think the Browns are actually handling this. Like, it's funny. The Browns are the only team that can have a young quarterback doing well in camp and not get any credit for it, right? Because it seems like they're hell bent on being like, well, Shador is doing this in spite of the Browns. I think the Browns are helping him look good. You know, the Browns are putting him in a position to be successful. The Browns aren't giving him anything that they don't think he can handle. And they deserve credit for that, right? That's one of the things with having Kevin here as long as he has been, Andrew Berry here. We wanted to see young quarterbacks in this system just look better, right? Because DTR looked like a disaster. Deshaun Watson looked like a disaster. Baker Mayfield in 2021 was an absolute disaster. And like, I started to question like whether Kevin can work with these young quarterbacks. If this is what Shador can look like in real games, which is not guaranteed. Again, it's the preseason. We thought DTR looked good in the preseason. But if this is what Shador can look like in real games, it really does alleviate a lot of your question marks you have about these guys. It makes you kind of like more excited about what these guys can do with a young quarterback, you know? So yeah, I don't know why the narrative has been, they've been trying to sabotage him. I think Shador looks great and Shador deserves the bulk of the credit for how he's looked, but I think also the Browns deserve some credit there because I think they put him in situations to thrive, develop, and look better, you know? It's fascinating how every other franchise will get credit for that. But the Cleveland Browns are the one franchise where everybody's like, no, we're not going to give them that credit. Again, Browns do something normal. Everybody reacts to it weird. Yeah, Luke Floria, I think he's been impressive. He's been impressive. I think it's not, well, somebody says Sanders fans run with that narrative. And yeah, I think that's partially true that Sanders fans do run with that narrative, but I don't think it's exclusively coming from Sanders fans. I think that narrative is it's derived from how people talk about the Cleveland Browns nationally. And those people aren't in the Sanders hive, right? Those are just national media members who are used to looking at anything the Browns do in the most negative light, right? And it's been a problem for years. But yeah, Shador, I think he's done a great job in camp. He's done a great job in OTAs. I hope he continues to look like this throughout the preseason. Hope he has some moments at joint practice. And look, if he has some moments in joint practice, maybe you give him some snaps with the ones, right? Maybe you do break him into the conversation as starting quarterback. Maybe not now, but you can say to yourself, hey, he's going to be first up, you know? Noah Greer says Shador looks good, but the high throws and tight windows are concerning. I have to see it on tape, but I need more for sure. Obviously, you're not going to start Shador off of one preseason game. I hope we all understand that, right? Is when I'm heaping praise on him for how he's played today. That does not mean, oh, yeah, that means I want them to just start him week one now because of one good preseason game. I would hope you guys think I'm a little bit more reasonable than that. I know I joke around and troll around on Twitter sometimes, but you guys know my work here is a lot separate from what I do on Twitter. But, yeah, I think he has put together a really solid body of work so far, you know? And maybe he's not considered to start week one. Maybe they want to go a different direction. I don't blame the Browns for wanting to go a different direction for week 1 through 6 because that's a tough gauntlet, right? You're playing Cincinnati, you're playing Baltimore, you're playing Pittsburgh, you're playing Detroit, you're playing Minnesota, and I think you play Pittsburgh again. It's one hell of a gauntlet that you probably don't want to send a young quarterback on. But I think what he can do is really become the prominent guy that they want to feature this season. You know, maybe they keep Dillon as a permanent backup and they give the opportunity to start to Shador when that opportunity comes. That's what he can earn here, right? Maybe not the starting job. I don't think they want to give the starting job to a young player unless it's undeniable, and he might be undeniable. But definitely could get to a place where it's like, hey, we're going to move on from Flacco or Pickett. Who's our next guy? It's going to be Shador. You know, he could definitely work himself into that. Noah Greer says, no, not what I'm saying. I want him to sit this year. Too much potential not to develop correctly. I'm a Shador hater. I can't lie to. I don't get that one. Oh, no. I'm not saying I want him. Oh, what I'm saying is I want to sit him this year. too much potential. So you want to sit him because you want to do the right thing by him, right? I think that's what the Browns are doing. You know, I think the Browns have identified some potential there with Shador, and they're going to be really careful with how they use him. You know, they haven't been reckless, right? Because there's been a lot of opportunity for this team to be reckless, and I think I'd give them praise for that, right? That there has been a lot of room for them to be reckless, and they have not been reckless with him. Because they could have given him first team reps and nobody would have batted an eye on it. That would have been reckless in my opinion. So I think they're playing this out smartly, right? They're just letting Shador take the lead on his development, when he needs to play, what he needs to get better at. And as Shador continues to play well, he will eventually start. Because one thing the Browns are not going to turn their nose up to is a starting level quarterback. And if that's what Shador can be, they will play him. I promise you that. With the addition of Williams, what is your confidence level change in this run game? What have I seen so far? I think the blocking has been a lot better for this run game than I anticipated. Now, again, it's second and third team guys, right? But the blocking does seem to be working. It did not seem to be working in camp. Maybe that's just the Browns defensive line and the Carolina defensive line are really good. But yeah, there was a lot more success on the ground. That made me feel a lot more comfortable. And I think Amani Marshall has a pretty intriguing skill set. Mason did play. He played in the first quarter. And I think he got a TFL. He was pretty good. Mason was pretty good when he played. I think Carson Schlesinger got 2 TFLs. That's good. Dylan Sampson had a couple of runs. Really didn't get to see him too much. I kind of wish we got to see more of him, but that did give us a chance to see Amani Marshall. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, if you're asking me, because a lot of people are talking about what the Browns should do. If you're asking me what I anticipate and what I hope for and what I would do is I would just play Joe Flacco and then I would put in Shador after that. And I would kind of develop Dylan Gabriel as my permanent number 2 quarterback, right? Maybe I don't need to see that guy start, but in case of emergency, I feel fine with him out there. Yeah, is Fannin out? Did Fannin get injured? Because, like, Sal Cannella was out there. I don't think he was on the non-play list. But, yeah, Fannin hasn't been out there. And Fannin has ran with the 1s and 2s in practice, so he should have been out there already. I know you say take it with a grain of salt, but right now I might have diabetes. No disrespect to people with it. It's just a joke. I think you're thinking about sugar, my guy. I think you're thinking about sugar. I don't think salt really does salt factor in with diabetes? I'm trying to think, does salt really do factor in with that? I don't think it does. Yeah. All right, Jordan says, I'm just happy to see some good QB play. I don't care who starts. I just want to win. Honest to God, that's 99% of Cleveland right now. He was out there? Okay, someone said just heart disease. Yeah, no, blood pressure, salt definitely has a factor with blood pressure. Diabetes, I don't think got nothing to do with salt, though. I think it's sugar. Well, blood pressure does have something to do with diabetes, don't it? I don't know. You know what, y'all, chat, y'all have definitely convinced me. I'm going to have to do some research on some diabetes so I can report back to you week 2. He missed a block on the reverse in the first quarter. Okay, so he just didn't get the ball. This channel will never grow. We have receipts. Hater Quincy, is that Jolie Joseph? Somebody, hold on. I want to see what else they've commented on here. Hold on. The channel's growing pretty good in like the last month. Shout out to Joseph, man. I needed a laugh. My dad has diabetes. I promise you, salt has nothing to do with diabetes. Has diabetes. I promise you. So okay, so thought so. I thought so. You wanted to use a grain of sugar. That would have fixed the bar right there. You know, we just trying to give notes out. Sanders has looked solid. He got some work stepping up in the pocket, but I like what I see so far. Flacco might be still the move, but who knows? Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with starting Flacco to start the year, even if you were really blown away with Sanders, you know? Because if Sanders is really like showing you he could be a starter, you're going to play him eventually. It's not really, it's just a matter of time, right? Cleveland says, bring out the nuts, brother. I can't bring out the nuts right now. You know what I mean? You know, I don't need to. The nuts only come out when the nuts are necessary, right? If the Browns were down, if this was looking dire, if we were in dire need of some positivity, I might consider it. But I can't do it right now. It's right now we good. We good. We don't have to use it, you know? Someone said, thank you for the public health education. Now we know, you know, and knowing is half the battle. Excluding Shador, who have I been most impressed with? Amani Marshall. I've been very impressed with Amani Marshall. Luke Floria, again, he's been pretty good. I hope he's good. But Luke Floria's been pretty good too. Did I see the Guardians game? I know I got a Guardians hat on, but I only have a Guardians hat on because I like Cleveland, and I think the baseball cap is the best Cleveland hat that exists. I don't watch the Guardians at all. I could not tell you what's going on with that. I'm not a baseball guy anymore. Like, I played baseball when I was in high school. That kind of killed my love for the game, if I'm being honest with you. Rex says, I'm enjoying this game as a work distraction. Can't wait for the second half. Double sicko mode. Oh, yeah. Are we going to see Snoop Huntley snaps?
I was waiting for it. So what's up? Ready to take a lead.
Not gonna lie, 12 looks like, does not look like a 5th round pick. I know, right? Some people said I didn't know football because I was like, he's a 1st round pick. Like, he looks more like a 1st/early 2nd round pick than Tyler Shuck. You know what I mean? Like, that's one. There are some picks in this draft that the Browns got criticized for that I feel like no other team got criticized for, and Tyler Shuck is one of them. People just kind of let the Tyler Shuck thing go. That was crazy to me. That's such an awful fucking pick. Excluding Shador. Oh, yeah, I already talked about that today. Big Gucci TV. Appreciate the super chat. I don't know what you said, though. All right, Kirk Davis says days on, maybe should have said should. I'm saying days on me, maybe should have said sugar. All I'm saying is I love what I'm seeing. Yes. I would be very encouraged with what you've seen today. Gotta watch the tape, but it's encouraging. See, Tony Brown just handles that press a lot better than all the other corners we have, and that's just not good. No, I didn't see the Guardians game. I've not been watching the Guardians. I've never got the Shador pats the ball too much thing. Again, there's a lot of dumb shit that surrounds Shador Sanders, both positive and negative, right? From the Shador people being like, oh my God, he's being sabotaged when he's perfectly ready for this opportunity. And then the anti-Sanders people being like, oh my God, he pats the ball. Like, that's not what I care about at all. Oh, good play by 37 there. Nice to see some excitement out the quarterback room. I would agree. You know, what's really going to be interesting is when we see Kenny Pickett, when we see Dylan Gabriel, do we have this same level of movement on offense? Because if you don't see that, then I think things are going to have to change in that quarterback room. Tony Brown's been good in camp, man. Tony Brown's been good in camp. Oh, he almost broke it off.
Touchdown, second tackle.
Oh, I know he's sick. Gage Laverton, he's been pretty good too. Appreciate the super chat, Kirk.
Great job. And that's something that I think we need to address.
Yeah, the fact that the Browns got criticized for taking Dylan and Shador when the Saints took fucking Tyler Shuck 40th overall and the Giants took Jackson Dart in the first round, I thought was always ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's something that I don't know if we fuck those guys.
Oh, Shador's still out there.
Makes the preseason so important.
Dan says, hold on, I'm going to get to the super chat in just a second, Dan. A little bit of a dangerous throw, was late on that one. He broke on it. Dan says, I feel like I offended you last year with the Wayne/Green and Yellow song. Q, I didn't mean to doubt your hip-hop knowledge. Let's get to Vegas for a Vegas dog pound for a game this year. Oh, man, I wish I could. I was trying to work something out this year with the company in Vegas to go down there, but everything ended up falling through for whatever reason. So it almost happened. I almost got down there to Vegas. Run, 2nd and 10. All right, we're going to get a 3rd and medium.
Congratulate the job, but you also get concerned that he may start feeling himself a little bit how well he performed. It doesn't maybe take the detailness of it and knowing you got to do it each and every week.
Look at Presley, what man,
Be honest, how do you really feel about that boy 12? Have you not been watching a fucking stream, my guy? Like, this stream is 3 hours. We've been talking about Shador most of the time. He's got to get rid of it. Yeah, he's got to get rid of it. Yeah. Again, that's just part of getting used to the NFL, right? The one thing he has to work on, and it's been a mainly positive day here. He got a free runner from the safety position. But the one thing he does have to work on, we talked about it during camp, he's got to speed it up a little bit, right? You got to be about a half a second faster sometimes. Doesn't have the amount of time, doesn't have the amount of, he can't just roll around back there sometimes. Like, he just a little bit faster. He needs to get that clock to get rid of the ball, to just be a little bit snappier, right? But everything else has been pretty positive about him. Yeah, how long has this stream been? That has to be somebody who's like convinced themselves that I'm this outrageous Shador hater or something like that. That comes into a stream fucking 2 hours deep into it. Like 90 minutes of it is Shador talk. And they're like, what do you feel about Shador? What the fuck do you think? Have you been listening? Fucking idiot. Like, come on. Like, the Browns are way smarter than the Saints. True, but it's the Saints. I want to be much better than that, Yeah. And again, like, I want to emphasize this. He was always going to have stuff he needs to clean up, That's what the preseason is for. So the existence of stuff that needs to be cleaned up right now is not even an indictment on him, right? Like, the fact that he has looked good is good, right? But I think I've seen Big Gucci in here. People like, oh, didn't he pay you? I've seen Big Gucci in here. I think he's been one of those people who've been like mad at me about everything I say about Shador. But yeah, like, he's gonna have these kind of like things that need to be touched up. Even like if he's good over the course of a season, you're gonna have things that you want him to fix. That's fine, right? I feel like we get in such a sycophantic or hater culture. Like, it's either you riding or you hating, right? That we don't know how to handle good faith observations because we're so always charged up that people are coming at your guy in some kind of bad faith manner. So anytime somebody has a criticism, you're like, people get too sensitive about it. But the truth is that everybody, even the best players, have some things they need to clean up. That's certainly true of what we've seen for Shador today. But doesn't mean you don't talk about the good things that he's done today. I think today has been obviously much more positive than negative. Has there been some things he needs to clean up? Sure. But that's pretty normal. I haven't seen anything today that makes me go, that's a red flag from Shador. Like, nothing screams that to me, you know? And for the whole team overall, I haven't seen any like jumping red flags from this team, which I think is pretty positive, right? Someone said he looks fine, third string for sure, though. I think he looks better than a third string quarterback right now. I think everybody kind of agrees with that. Seriously, where's Fannin? He probably played for like the first quarter and you haven't seen him since, like most other rookies. Also, I think the coaching staff is going to be pretty impressed with him handling the extended reps in a situation of need too. So I think this is going to be an overall positive day for him.
Back, and you got some other Gamecocks on this roster too.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Gamecocks. I mean, like 5 Russell guys that grew up together for South Carolina, like 50 minutes in here. So, we got to be back from a family and friends. We're starting for me as a little kid, so definitely be back.
Yeah, Gaffney, South Carolina, and she knows about the Peach Water Tower, right?
We all do. There's some cards way back when, which popularized the giant peach driving down 85. Speaking of local products, Dominique.
It's something about 37, man. We always get a feisty player wearing that 37. It was DeAnthony Bell for the longest.
Trying to compete for a spot. Listen, the tight end position.
Yeah, Flacco was 08 draft class, y'all.
Sanders, who has been one of the guys that's gotten a lot of love throughout camp. Mitchell Evans is the rookie for Notre Dame. Tommy Tremble coming off back surgery, so if you potentially need for a third tight end going into the season, here's a screen. And Jimmy Horn Jr.
All right, third and long.
Chuba Hubbard and Stephen was the middle kid in the run game, almost 1,200 yards, fourth highest single season rushing total in franchise history.
And I think it's going to be great having Rico, and I think Chuba will welcome that. We want to run the football. We want to be a downhill running football team. But when you can kind of get that balance.
Dude, Tyler Huntley's not even guaranteed to make it to next week of practice, if I'm being honest with you.
Gotta keep some track with the Panthers.
Don't know what fix.
Yeah, that's one. Andy is he's laughing at him soon. He's gonna get teased.
Yeah.
You know, I was so athletic. I never had to worry about things like that.
There's 2 problems. One, you got to take those Jordans off. You can't wear Jordans.
Is that why I was not allowed to wear Jordans?
His jeans will look like your jeans.
Someone said give the sack to Miles.
And I love it. You know, Red Rocky's great.
That's one that's gonna be
Don't give it up. All right. Punt team.
45-yard line of the four. It's going to bring up another 4th down for the Panthers, and that is another punt for Carolina. Third catch for Mitchell, who
I'd be happy if that's it for Shador.
training camp spent the last 3 seasons with Detroit, former Virginia Tech Hokie.
So Gage do something else again.
So many opportunities because Tommy is out. There's other opportunities, so guys, you don't think they truly have that opportunity.
Marvel's kick. Caught by Marvin.
It's not a bad decision.
Panthers have punted 5 straight drives. We'll be back after a word from your local.
And they're going to commercial. I have not heard word that Tyler has been warming up. So I'm assuming it's going to be Shador again, right? Let me double check. I don't think we need to see more Shador. I think you should be pretty happy with what you've seen out of him. LeBron tweets like such a dad now. It's like, it's crazy. Like he's out there calling people lames in 2025. It's like, damn, man, like LeBron's really old. Buckeye Steve says, you already talked about it a bit, but do you think Gabriel remains in front of Sanders in terms of reps once healthy? Maybe for one more week. I think, again, separating what I would do versus what I think the Browns are going to do. What I think the Browns are going to do is give Dylan Gabriel another week, the joint practice versus Philly, the preseason game versus Philly, and if he does not look more impressive than Shador after all of that, then I think a serious reconstruction of where these guys are placed is going to be considered. I think it's already started to be considered, if I'm being honest with you, right? I think that will be the piece that puts it over the top because, to their credit, they will play out a process a lot longer to be a lot more thorough with information than I would, right? Me personally, I would just play Shador over Dylan. But I never thought that Dylan was better than Shador, right? I've always had Dylan well below Shador as a prospect. So that's my bias seeping in. If I'm looking at this from a perspective of a team that decided to draft Dylan before they went with Shador, they're probably going to give Dylan another week of practice. That's just the most accurate way I could think about it, you know? Durag Miles going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Hey, man, he looks better than he's ever had before. And I don't know what that looks like over the course of a season, but Miles has looked better than I've ever seen him. Why Miles looking like that uncle without the black? All right, more Shador.
Shador Sanders still.
I was just about to say they haven't had that many pre-snap penalties.
Here in Charlotte tomorrow becomes a.
And I'll give Shador credit too. Again, he's looked pretty good despite the offense like continuously putting him in and long situations.
These stories so much. We never saw the kid playing. Now the kid gets out the way. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it looks like. That throws the ball well. That first opportunity.
All right, let's get like 7 here. Make it a third and manageable.
Not his fault, but you see the ball snapped over his head. That's not his fault. Ball is snapped too low. But he's out there. They run a 3-by-1 double, 2-by-2. He's going through his reads, doing his touchdowns.
All right, looks like cover 4. They're going to give you something soft middle. There's another procedural penalty. Well, yeah, look, there are some numbers that are very unfamiliar on that offensive line, so I have to imagine.
That's the thing. Preseason gets to be. Oh my gosh! Here we go again. Yes, we got a new center in the game. But those are the things that, hey, hold in, guys. When you're in the huddle, hold in, guys. Let's go. One play at a time. Just hold in. Let's not make a mistake after mistake. And that's something that I think what's been so impressive about this game is that we haven't seen that until this.
That's fine. That's fine. Good process.
He saw it late. He was looking towards the numbers. And so somebody flashed in front of him. So make the adjustment. Great job making an adjustment. Just has to follow through a little bit.
Panthers would get an extra defensive back.
Yeah, I mean, we're down in 31 at wide receiver right now. Yeah, just throw the ball route, move it on with a curl and move on. Give yourself some space on the punt. That's a fine decision.
zone. Hey, Shador, give me some room here. I'm sending you double stick. So he knows right away, double stick. And what does he do? He throws it on the inside shoulder because the defender's playing on the outside shoulder, so he can turn it out. Punter has room now on that 11. That's a professional play.
And more penalty markers.
Chat, do we go for it? Chat, do we go for it? We going for it?
We're open to taking 4 quarterbacks. Now, realistically, let's say Flacco's the guy to begin the season. What does that mean for Kenny Pickett? Is he trade?
Oh man, it's only 4th and 4. Like you're just on your own 15.
Sanders, but even if they take 3,
Yeah, we're getting to the points where I'm like, hey, we should probably take Shador out the game now, because we're at the bottom of the depth chart at this point. There's nothing to prove. Like this is where Shador is playing simply because he has to, because there's not that many other people that can take reps and get you work, right?
recalibrates. You're picking up the quarterback next quarter.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really take much stock into any of these reps in the 3rd quarter, if I'm being honest with you. Someone said practice squad time out there, brother. These guys ain't making the practice squad. Most of these guys ain't making the practice squad. Some of these guys won't be making the UFL. Can they teach Dylan Gabriel to punt? Yeah, but as far as to that question, right, will they usurp him over Dylan? I mean, it's the NFL. It's a cold world. They could. But I think they'll give Dylan this next week to fight for his spot. If he does it, then I think he's going to be relegated to a different role. If Zenter's hurt, yeah, he didn't make the trip. I mean, Sanders gets a ton of reps in practice, though. Like, I don't know where this narrative has been that, like, Sanders isn't getting practice reps. There have been, like, a couple of days where he didn't, but the one day where he didn't get any reps was what? Because he had shoulder soreness, and he reported that. Other than that, he's gotten a fair amount of reps all year, all preseason, all offseason. Like, I think if you count it up, he's probably gotten the 2nd most reps, if not the most reps of anybody. The only guy who's beaten him is maybe Joe Flacco. Like, Joe Flacco and Shador are taking most of the reps in practice. Like, first team reps, absolutely, he hasn't taken any of them. But if we're talking about practice reps, he's had a ton. He's had as much as any other quarterback on his team right now. Dog, people are so funny. They're like, oh, the Browns are calling bullshit plays now. They don't want Shador to shine. Brother, then what were we doing in the first half when Shador was shining? Like, you think he just went, oh, man, he played well in the first half. Let's shut it down in the 3rd quarter? That doesn't make any sense. What's probably happening is that, the quality of player he's out there with. 1, he's less familiar with these guys. And 2, they're not as good. Ooh. Well, Andy Dalton's cooked. You know what's crazy? Andy Dalton's significantly younger than Joe Flacco, and he is so much more cooked than Joe Flacco. That's amazing to me. Gabriel is modern day Kellen Moore. That's not fair. He's not Kellen Moore, y'all. That's Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's arm was significantly weaker than Dylan Gabriel's. Like, that's not even close.
Shoot up the D lineman. They got the corner sitting there, so he has to step up and throw the football. It's one of those, they just have those guys get paid as well.
There's no doubt.
Second turnover.
All right, Shador, let's finish this game off. Let's finish your day out with a nice little drive here. There you go. Sal Cannella, UFL All-Star, man. Sal Cannella plays on, oh my God, what's the fucking penalty here?
Good job of playing on offense. Timely screens. They've gone a lot of EMT, a lot of 3-by-1, giving him throws that he can see and just making it. He's running the offense.
That was one of the new wrinkles in the offseason, really an old wrinkle. Stefanski taking over the play call duties.
272.
You know, we talked about Shador nationally,
Okay, yeah, he's not making the team.
but I just think for this football team, he's answered so many questions for this coaching staff because they have all these quarterbacks on the roster. His reps are probably so limited.
I know Shador's got to be frustrated with that one because that's the first time that they've really gotten off to a drive with a really nice positive play to put them ahead of the sticks, and then somebody goes too far upfield, and then boom, you're behind the sticks again. You know, he's been behind the sticks all game. Good throw. There we go. There we go.
And then coming into the game today,
Where's that person that said the Browns were purposely sabotaging Shador Sanders specifically in the third quarter? I want to hear from them.
is on offense.
I don't think that guy looks pretty sabotaged out there.
6 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers.
Would that be uncomfortable?
All right, let's get something going here. 1st and 10. Scoring range. I want to score. I want to score. Nice little cutout. Ooh, good burst. I'm telling you, that Marshall kid's got something.
Martin Scott pushed him out of bounds.
That Marshall kid's got something.
Gamecock trying to crack 53 in the mix at inside linebacker.
Here's one of the things I was speaking to someone and talked about. Shador had an opportunity.
No, Sampson's not injured. Sampson played already. He's just out for the rest of the game because of with all the other rookies.
Each other. That's a benefit. The benefit you're the quarterback. Your receivers know what each other.
Finish the drive.
So that's a great job of Shador putting in.
Nice run. Get ahead of the sticks. Nice run. All right, Shador. Let's work. You're ahead of the sticks now. Let's work. Let's work. They got one running back out there. They're going to be in shotgun. Let's work here. 2nd and 6. We can work now.
Kent Jackson's in there. You know, we have Harrison Hunt from SMU, the drafted rookie DJ Johnson, who's fighting for it to win this team. Thomas in.
All right, Gage in the stack. It's coming underneath. All right. 3rd and short.
Finished off by Hilly and Warren.
3rd and short.
Last Saturday.
They wanted to hit Gage in that stack. He didn't get open.
Going through his progression is really good.
Yeah, good decision to go check down there. Let's finish this off strong. Let's finish this off with the score.
Damani Richardson scored when they scored this. Going to push it again. Hustle play. And again, a set on the hustle play.
All right, count numbers. Let's go for it. We're going to go for it. Yeah, there's no point in getting a field goal rep here.
With the new rule, I'll tell you kick a field goal. You kick it off, and let's say you
Let's get the big fella in there. Let's see if he can get this. Let's get the big fella in there.
situation, because if you don't get it, well, now the math says the other team has to go 95 plus yards. And the odds are strong to get the ball back in the field.
All right, big fella, let's get these two. Oh, you got it. Cut it. There you go. Good drive. Great drive. You got to feel really good about that one. Great day there. Great day there.
But he knew right away, this is what I'm calling. This is
Yeah, this game went about as good for Shador as you wanted it.
something like that. Get our defense, especially.
Nice reverse. A positive yard on a touchdown on a reverse. Kevin's been trying to get that shit going for years. I'm glad he finally broke through on one. All right. Seriously, don't need to see Shador after this. I think at this point it's an injury risk. Like, don't. He's good. He's had a great day.
So do you have a turnover? And the answer. That's something that Coach Canales talked about. Some of the must on this football team. And turnovers is one that we must have the defense and must take and not give away.
14 points on Panther turnovers for Cleveland. You have to go work for your local Panther station.
Football is here. NFL Network has every preseason game. Your first look at the new class and stars on new teams. The NFL preseason August 7th.
Why did it just zoom in like that?
NFL Network.
I don't know why it did that.
Local and primetime games on mobile with NFL Plus. Keep the NFL in reach.
It's time for football.
Somebody. Maybe you. Somebody. Maybe small. Somebody.
I should miss the game.
No, I've got NFL Plus. It's on.
Get live local and primetime games on mobile with NFL Plus. Keep the NFL in reach. Say something. Almost flag. Just go. Say something.
Sorry about that. They had all technical difficulty.
Say go.
Okay, Kevin, don't use the reverse again the whole season. That one time this year it works for us. Hey, maybe he's finally figured it out. Maybe he's finally figured it out. I think Shador's had about as impressive of a day as he could have. I can't think of any of the drives he had where I walked away from it saying that was a bad possession. He's had good possessions every time out there. That's really good, right? It's really good.
Fielded out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line. As we check in with
Who's that D tackle that's running down the field on kickoffs, dog? Yeah, Tyler Huntley coming in now. Next possession, Tyler Huntley's coming in.
As far as that winning culture and that winning mentality.
I think I'm just taking everything, and every day, we fighting to do something. We're trying to continue to build a championship culture. So, from over every day.
He just ran one with a tight end, and he got spine busted. Oh, you talking about the end around? Hey, look, man, Kevin ain't going to give up on that shit, dog. He not going to give up on it easy. We know Kevin been fighting that battle with us about these end arounds forever. Why Huntley looked like Lance Stevenson from the NBA? He do kind of look like Lance Stevenson. He just short. Lance Stevenson like 6'8". That's the only thing, though. But I do agree with you. He kind of do look like Lance. Tyler Huntley, just the one thing he did that was so strange while he was at Baltimore was like, you remember when Damian Sandow became the Mrs. Stunt Double? I swear to God, Tyler Huntley was doing that same thing for Lamar Jackson for like 2 years.
I can thank my mom and dad.
Like when he called him, when Lamar called him his twin, he meant that shit. That was not just slang. No, Mason Graham looked good. Yeah, somebody asked about Mason. Mason looked good. I was happy with what I saw from Mason. We got a gift from Sly, says, all right, no offense to Snoop, but I don't need to see him play. You out? You not watching Snoop? Y'all all gonna leave because of Snoop Huntley playing? I understand.
Plays well enough, sticks on the team, and then he will not get snaps again until 2026. To be very honest, and that's how critical it is.
Tony Brown again. I got to put him down. We got to talk about Tony Brown. We got to talk about Tony Brown. We got to talk about Tony Brown, man. He's been looking good.
Kid.
Hey, man, look. Shador is going to have to outperform a Pro Bowler today. Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowl quarterback.
Okay, what a huge play. It's 4th and 10. We've got to throw it to get a first down. Let it rip, Jack. See it, trust it, let it rip.
Browns showing blitz. There it comes. Butler stands in the pocket and throws incomplete.
Hey, the kid from Clemson, McMillan.
Takes it. 43.
Let's go. We're going all out blitz. We're going to blitz them. Let the young.
Hey, look, the defense looks good and the offense looks a world of different better. A world of difference better. All of a sudden, we're remembering that Kevin Stefanski can coach on offense. All I'm saying.
What Browns is Tyler Huntley, who was just picked up a few days ago.
Love what I've seen from Tony Brown, making me feel much better about our cornerback depth. Yeah, I just don't love our slot situation right now. I think that's the one area where we kind of got abused by Carolina that I'm a little concerned about.
Been with Cleveland, was at camp with the Browns last year before being cut.
And then the year and last year through the season, Miami. And why is this all coming together? He's run this offense before.
He may do a lot of that, which is Huntley started 14 games in his career. Most of his time again with the Ravens. 4 seasons with Baltimore. Pro Bowler back in 2020. He did start 5 games with Miami last year.
Yeah, when you have the same family of systems.
Why is it doing that? Hold on.
It's Stefanski, the Shanahan. Everything's not going to be the same, but it's a family. And then, like this particular play right here, this is just it's a traditional old West Coast round. It's called hand. And all it is the tight end goes over the ball. You have 2 curls on side, 2 flats, and you just stare right at the tight end over the ball, and you bang it on him if he's open. If he's not open, you just feel a squeeze of one of the linebackers and go to that side, to the curl, to the flat. Just basic plays and just running. Coaches just want to see you run a basic play.
Carla?
Yeah, we got Princely yelling out there on the football field right now. We got a
All right.
name. He's also
Snoop, 3rd and 1. Let's handle it.
closer to his family. There are 4
Let's handle it, Snoop.
We have Prince.
Don't sleep on Snoop, y'all.
You've got the youngest brother, Princeton. Now, their names, of course, kind of point to some royalty. Well, there's some reason for that. His grandfather was a former chief in Nigeria where Princely was born. So, pretty cool nod to the heritage of that family.
Yeah, Dad wanted to honor the grandfather, and the regal names for all 4 brothers and Prince Will, currently at Ole Miss, where Princely played last year, 10.5 sacks in the SEC, which has become the premier conference in all of college football. They turn out the most pros year in, year out. And Obama Allen, one thing, Steve, that jumps out, he's got a little swagger to him. He's not afraid to talk. He's got a little bravado to him.
Absolutely, he should. He's playing well.
That's why I came to you with that.
All right. It's taking way too long to get this 3rd and 1 off in a preseason game. Just get it off, y'all.
That means the chain gang is looking at those 3 guys right now.
Easiest job in the building.
They can get any Quincy's at halftime because they're not going to be working it.
Well, they're still going to be there as backups. It's preseason for everybody.
Correction, 3rd down. It is preseason. They were working through all the teams, right? All right.
Like that, you got the turn.
I really do. No, but, young kid like Prince, long, bendy, can really move, very athletic. Someone that I think was a great father.
But play out the zone ready keeper, chased by Mommy Allen.
Okay, Huntley, 1st down. Don't hurt nobody when you get slid out.
Great about tonight is Lathan Rance, the rookie out of Ohio State, the safety. And he's one that has made a ton of plays in camp and been very active, but for whatever reason tonight just hasn't really seen.
Got a super chat. How well does Dylan need to be now?
Truly looking forward.
I mean, he needs to be on par with what we've seen from Shador Sanders. I think that's a fair bar, right? It's been debatable if he's even been close to that throughout all of camp. And I think that's the bar that's fair to place him at. You know what I mean? Like,
Those guys in the same
hey, Snoop.
pressure coming. Huntley hits.
Oh, he almost got that shit too. He said, fuck it, somebody got to be down there. Let me tell you. I feel a little bit better about our O-line depth. Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. So I can't say that I feel better about it, but I felt pretty good about it for a while.
States championship team. You talk about a safety team.
Man, just finish off this game.
Last year, Downs projected to be a very high first-round pick in the 2026 draft. Huntley to throw on 1st and 10. Screen pass.
Nice.
Toa.
Nice.
Finds his way to the 50.
Nice.
Spending the last 2 seasons with the Michigan Panthers.
Up the, UFL. Up the UFL.
That brings us to the end of the 3rd.
All right.
Browns in the
Put those 4s up in chat. Let's put those 4s up in chat, y'all. It's 4 time. Let's go. Let's go. 4s in chat. 4th quarter. Finish time. It's demon time right here. It's demon time. Let's get it. Let's get it, chat. Let's get it. It's preseason for us too. We need to get into regular season shape, and we need to get into 4-quarter shape, because let me tell you something about this Browns team this year. Whether you think they're going to get a good record or not, I promise you this year they're going to play a lot of tight games, right? Sweaty palms games. So y'all need to get y'all 4th quarter cardio ready. I don't care what beer you on, how much liquor you done had. If you ate too much damn pizza, maybe you shouldn't had that 15th wing. Get ready. Get your fours in chats. Let's step it up because the fourth quarter ain't going to catch nobody by surprise. It can't never catch you by surprise. Yeah, somebody got 12. 12 times, 4 times what? 3 equals 12. Goddamn 4 in the chat. Let's go. 4's in chat. 444. There it is. There it is. There it is. 4's in chat. 4's in chat. Fourth quarter time. Yes, go. Somebody said clinch butt cheek season. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be that kind of year. We're going to be sweaty. We're going to be nervous. We're going to be on the edge of winning every week. But we need to have that cardio so we can outlast other fan bases. So if we do win, we got all the energy in the world to go to their pages and talk that shit, right? Fourth quarter's in chat. Let's go. Let's go. Let's put it up in chat. Let's put it up in chat. 4's in chat. We going to close this one out. 14-point lead against the Carolina Panthers. I don't care if it's the preseason. I want the dub. I want the dub. Y'all want the dub? I want the dub. We deserve the dub. Shador's played great. The team's played great. I want the dub. Okay? Give me the dub. I spell win with 2 N's because I want that 4. Don't fuck this up, Snoop. I'll hold it against you.
Jake DeLong, Steve Smith Sr., Carla Betts down at the sideline. Jonathan Stewart eating nachos or
I put my wrist up if we score in this drive.
as well. I want to acknowledge him. Rounds to the red zone to begin the fourth quarter. Tower gets the call and moves the chains. Stats after 3 quarters are brought to you by Bank of America. How much do you put into these preseason game 1? Shador Sanders.
Let's go. Let's go. Second down and 1.
First 2 series for Carolina. They accounted for the lone touchdown. Young to Jalen Coker.
You out here mid-season monologue. You know what I mean? Look. The preseason ain't just for them. It's for us too. You know, it's for me. I got to be ready. Week 1. It's a division game. I got to come on now. Come on now. You had that.
Western Kentucky is you see Bryce Young and Adam Thielen. That connection.
I low-key would not mind a field goal here just because I want to see Dustin Hopkins or the other kid.
Gonna have it down. It's the third and the fourth downs that, you know, and some of the success we had in the past.
3 times 4. What's that, Jerry Judy? I don't know because it don't work. It don't work. I was trying something, but I was trying to make it work.
No, I think he just knew we did develop that rapport with each
Someone gonna see all these 4s in the chat and be like, "See, Q still supports Deshaun Watson." Somebody's gonna be mad about that in the spaces. Heard Q still support Deshaun Watson. Whole chat had 4s in it. Shame.
To the quarterback that they can be dependable and they know exactly what they're doing when you got to have those plays. It's 3rd down and 4.
Fuck the team. Run the ball, Hunt. Fuck the team. Run the ball, Hunt. Oh, did you fumble? Okay. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Nah, they kicking the field goal.
It's an aim to fire away. It was Hunter Renfrow. He's a little banged up, not playing today, but Jake. 4 years ago, 2021, 100 catches, 1,000+ yards. Ulcerative colitis, big weight loss.
Lenore Sellers in 2026 if Shador don't pan out? Probably. We'll see. We got at least 10 weeks 8 weeks of college football to get through before we can have any real conversations about who the Browns might draft at quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, we got to let the season play out a little bit. We can have guys we liked from last year, but the reality is we're not going to know who's going to really show themselves until we get into the college football season. Look, man, all I'm saying is that the Browns played 2 quarterbacks. One was a Pro Bowler. The other one was Shador Sanders, and Shador ain't had to end these drives with no field goals. You know what I mean? Like, Shador is already better than a Pro Bowl quarterback. I mean, like, I know somebody is working up some insane clickbait with the fact that, like, Snoop Huntley is technically a Pro Bowler. That's what the headline's going to be. Shador Sanders outshines former Pro Bowl quarterback. Cleveland choice clear. Oh, somebody's going to write that headline and you owe me money. You owe me money. You owe me $5 per click. And we got to give credit to the real hero of today, and that's Tony Brown and that big ass stick that Tony Brown was carrying before the game. Someone said G. Bush gonna be unsufferable. Hey, bro, he done earned his victory lap. He done. You know what? Somebody should tell G. Bush to headline the video that. Whichever one of us gets it to first. I want Shador as a franchise quarterback and 2 first-round picks in 26. I mean, that's a really good scenario too, right? Like, let's say Shador does emerge as a franchise quarterback this year, and then you get to use those 2 first-round picks to build around him, right? The Philadelphia Eagles model. So, I mean, if the Browns could get lucky here and have one of these guys, probably going to be Shador, pan out, then yeah, they'd be thrilled about that. Steve Hatt, thank you for the 10 gifted. Yeah, Tony Brown played excellent football today, but his best contribution was coming out with the walking stick, because you look cool as fuck walking out with somebody that got a walking stick behind you. Like, tell me, if a boxer comes out, if a pro wrestler come out and he got an entourage of people behind him, which is really just his teammates, and a dude in a walking stick behind him, guy looks pretty badass. You know what I mean? Badass. Someone said 12 looks super different from Huntley. God, yeah. I would hope so. Will DeJuan Jones improve going against Miles? I don't think it's a good strategy. Like, blocking Myles Garrett's just like one-on-one in practice. It's not really like, how do I put this? It's not really a fair way to assess the man's talents.
Yeah, it's difficult. Now, I was about to ask Steve this, like, when did you know, like, okay, now I truly get it? Like, what year? Because you had success. Okay, rookie year, you're a Pro Bowler. Third year, we go to the Super Bowl, you become a household name. You have the injury the next year. Well, your 5th season in the NFL, I believe you.
All right, I gotta use the restroom. What do you think this means for Dylan and Pickett? It's going to be a big week for him next week. You know, they got to get back healthy, right? Because if the only people we get to see are Shador, then people are going to want to see him, you know, especially if he continues to look like this. And again, like, I know people are bringing up DTR comps and everything else, and I think there's something fair to that, right? It is the preseason. You don't want to get too carried away. But the one thing I will say that's a little different than what DTR did was Shador did most of this against the Panthers' second and first team unit versus DTR, who exclusively played in the second half of preseason games while he was here. Schlesinger was balling, though. Yeah, Schlesinger was playing really well, too.
And Jake, for a quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to give Dylan a chance. They drafted him in the 3rd round. They're going to give him a chance at some point. And again, During the course of the season, I really don't mind if Shador is the last quarterback to go out there, as long as he's going to get a significant amount of time as the last quarterback to go out there. If they just want to put him out there the last 8 weeks, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. You know, give him a body of work, where there's no pressure to put in anybody else.
But there was also things that would happen in practice and the game where he saw.
And another sack by the Cleveland Browns. All right, I'm going to use the bathroom.
There was a lot of
I'll be right back, y'all.
words.
and chooses to not just listen to one another.
Y'all are nuts. We got over 1,000 people after the piss break on the fourth quarter of a preseason game. I got to appreciate y'all. Y'all are an insane bunch, man. Get everybody in chat. Give yourself a round of applause, man. One hell of a showing by y'all, man. This is going to be a hell of a season if this is how chat. And look, chat was good today. I'm going to be real with you, right? People were telling me all week, oh, chat's going to be on bullshit. The live's going to be on bullshit. I got to give chat their flowers because chat was not on bullshit today. I did not have to crash out at chat one time. I crashed out one time at the one guy, but only one crash out. Dog, that's special. That's special, chat. Come on, chat. Y'all actually did what y'all did the thing. Y'all did the thing, chat. Chat did your thing today. That's crazy. There we go. There we go. I need to get a sound effect. It's like wrestling. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Yeah, because usually chat be also they like usually the fourth quarter of the preseason game. That's when people want to relitigate Baker Mayfield, or people want to get mad about something Andrew Berry did in the 7th round. Y'all ain't do that today, man. Look at that. The Browns play positive football, and chat has no problem being positive. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Somebody said they just booked their Super Bowl tickets today. 14 of 23 for 138 yards, QB rating 106. Shador had a good day, man. Shador had a good day. I can't wait to watch the film. I think the film's going to be even more impressive.
Yes, with the concert, you can't say enough. Helping the people up in the mountains in Avery County.
Run game's been good today, man. We've been able to move the ball on the ground. Run game's been good today. Got a super chat here from Cleveland J. Says he knew he had the ball. He did. Clutch for sure. Hey, look, when he came out with that speaker playing his own song, getting hype, I'm like, either he's ready or he's not. But you don't go out, you're not being that bold if you're not ready. So, he knows how to show up for the moment for sure. All right, chat. Someone said, is 14 of 23 good? Yes, that's pretty good. 61%. He was going downfield. That's pretty solid. For your first NFL action, yeah, that's pretty solid.
And you're not just on the team. Now you're in the middle of the game calling the cadence and calling the play.
And you're not playing right guard or right tackle or, or you have your next to you saying, hey, we're sliding right, or hey, we're having double team here, double team there, you're pulling here. No, you're in the huddle, you're calling the play, you're breaking it,
Calling the play.
drop properly, break the huddle, look at the play clock. Are we in the right formation? Do I have a shift? Do I have a motion? Which, one thing I will say, Stefanski's doing a great job of giving these guys some screens tonight, giving them some, like designating it one side or the other, moving them.
Just run, Tyler.
Huntley can do that. Forward progress should give him the first down. It does.
But it's also, too, you got to look at the formation. You got to look at protection. Do you slide it? Do you switch it? All those things people don't understand. When you sit on the couch, just everybody can.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Huntley's only here because of circumstance, so it doesn't really matter how Tyler looks here. He's not in them. They gave him the same number as the kicker. He's not going to be here long.
From the Panther 36, it's Tawa. I mean, you saw Cam Jackson come into the game a moment ago. Rookie 5th rounder, Florida. He might be somebody, Steve, that could begin the season as the backup to Bobby Brown at nose tackle.
What I love seeing on, I wrote on my notes, they love so far what they've seen from Cam Jackson. Now, I think he's done a great job of getting Dan Morgan on his side because he's wearing Dan's number from Florida. So that really, hey, you got a brown nose. How do you get it?
I'm going to be real with you. Steve Smith is peak preseason commentary. Peak preseason commentary. Because, what makes good preseason commentary is okay, you care in the first quarter. You're giving some good analysis in that first quarter. But by the time we get to that fourth quarter, I want to hear you just say shit. You know what I mean? And Steve Smith is just out there saying stuff. He's talking about how 55 is an ass kisser.
Yes, he's young.
Hey, chats, we got a spammer.
It's tiring.
Mods, we got a spammer. Thank you.
These runs.
Good shit, Ray Rags.
So many plays in a row. That's a rotation in practice.
Someone said Deshaun didn't look happy tonight. Let me tell you, don't nobody give a fuck about how Deshaun Watson feel.
And it's going a little bit maybe quicker than it is in practice because the play clock's rolling. So you learn.
Ooh, a Lions player broke their neck. Oh, that's awful.
Play these guys take it a little more serious than I do, and then you're playing a game. Oh, okay, I see why they take it a little more serious. This is a grown man's game. This is very, very different.
Steve, we expect to see Derek Brown next week at Houston. The plan is for him to get
into the big guy.
Texans.
There you go. Little tush push.
That's going to be a great practice to be in.
What I want to know is the addition of Bobby Brown, nose tackle. What does that do for Derek Brown, guys like Turk Ward, Ashawn Robinson?
Shout out Bobby Brown. That was a guy I wanted the Browns to get at.
Two guys, and you still have these guys on the edge.
Well, first of all, you already see Derek Brown has 103 tackles as a nose tackle. So that tells you his willingness to be active.
There you go.
The point, too, is understand.
I mean, Holly looks better than he did in the preseason last year. And that's impressive considering he's only been with the team 2 days.
Guys in there that can actually move, man movers, who can move people out of the way. Derek Brown demands a double team. But now you got Bobby Brown who demands a double team.
Could the tush push have been banned? No.
You got Warden on the edge. All of a sudden, DJ Warner all of a sudden, and then
Oh yeah, easy touchdown.
Touchdown to McDonald.
It looks like the Browns offense works. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, wow.
The greatest team of all time. One that comes together.
Don't forget what happened the last time we went undefeated in the preseason, brother. We're not even undefeated in the preseason. We're probably not going to be undefeated in the preseason. Tanner McGee's axe has been balling. You seen Tanner McGee in the preseason? We not beating him in a. That's going to be, hey, look, we about to see the test of preseason giants next week. Tanner McGee versus Shador Sanders. Another super chat. Can't believe the Steelers passed on this guy 12. That's the funny thing. If Shador is good, will the Browns, one, finally get credit for drafting him in the 5th round when everybody else did not want to do that for whatever reason? And two, man, Pittsburgh is the one that really passed on him. Is it our time? Is it our time to finally do what they did to us for 12 years with Ben Roethlisberger, reminding us every waking second that we passed on them? Did Dustin Hopkins miss an extra point? Did I miss that?
Sounds crazy.
We've heard a lot from to be on the practice field. What does it mean to know that you're going to bring that size and that speed on the defensive side of Carolina?
It means a lot. I'm just here to try to help this team be better and win some games, man. Hopefully, we can get the thing done at the end.
What have you seen from the defense so far tonight?
I've seen a lot of heart, a lot of effort, but I would say we need to clean up some simple things. It's the small things that matter.
You also have a Super Bowl ring from the Rams, but a lot of the guys on the roster were a part of that team. Is that something that y'all talked about over training camp at all?
Yes, man. We have. We talk about it often. It's hard not to reminisce winning the championship.
Yeah. And obviously, Anish, she's also a really good follow on Twitter. You're pretty vocal on X.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That was like one of the shittiest interviews of all time. Oh my God. Bobby Brown gave Aditi 3 words in that interview. I don't know if you're watching this on the Panthers broadcast. He gave Aditi 3 words the whole interview.
That's run good for
Oh, my
19.
goodness.
Panthers only got 20 total rushing yards. There's Bailey again. That's out at both TCU and Louisiana, or as it was called with
All of a sudden, people aren't. And remember, the Browns are not the team that played their starters today. I know people were wondering, oh, man, they ain't going to play their starters. The Browns are not the team that played their starters. The Browns came to this game, and you could just tell the physicality, the physical emphasis that they put on practice has paid off because they look like the team more ready for a physical challenge today. They certainly look like the team more ready for a physical challenge today. Hopefully that carries all the way to week 1. I think D-Hop missed the extra point.
drafted rookie from Miami. Now the perfect time to make plans for Panthers football and ensure you'll be at every home game at Bank of America Stadium. As a PSL owner, you can take advantage of a convenient, interest-free payment plan and experience exclusive PSL owner events throughout the year. Don't miss out on the excitement of the season starting at just $21 per month. For more details, visit panthers.com/tickets/PSLs. First and 10 inside Cleveland territory. Bailey is subdued for a loss of a yard.
Yeah, it looks like we're just, kind of running Bailey, giving Plummer just a little quick outlet, just kind of finishing out this game. But let's finish it out with a touchdown. I mean, if you're Plummer, let's lead this team down the field and go get some.
He's dealing with Baker Bros prepared for you. Oh, has dealing with Baker Bros prepared me for the Shador stands? Oh, yeah, dog. I don't even, I'm at the place now where, Baker Bros used to actually make me mad. I guess since I'm older now, I'm 30. When I was dealing with Baker Bros, I was 25, right? Still very youthful, inexperienced. Now I'm at the point to where it's I'm not really going to be mad at somebody's hardcore stand base because, one, arguing with stands is a no-win proposition. And 2, most people who are stands, they just want to say some shit. And the more you engage with it, the more you deal with it. You feel me? And sometimes people aren't really stands. They just don't know any better. They just know what ESPN told them. And I got to have grace for people like that, right? Because if I want them to know more and watch me and hopefully learn more, then, I can't be a fucking asshole to them, right? Just because they have a different opinion of me. So, yeah, I mean, I've just gotten more patient over the years. I don't feel the need to contest everything. I still contest a fair bit, but, I don't feel the need to contest every single thing or argue every single thing. Just more understanding of just how people work over the years. You feel me? Nope, not yet. Game's not over yet. Yeah, our corners looked a little rough early. So we're probably going to start out talking Shador. Game. So I think this is I think we can feel pretty good in saying that today was a positive day for the Cleveland Browns. I think even the most cynical person has to admit that.
I have no idea. Is that the, are you the NFL? I have no idea. Favorites, the great J.J. Jansen, who is not just the longest tenured Panther, hasn't just played in the most games of any Panther. Earlier tonight, Jake, we saw J.J. talk the Panthers out of a penalty, and we thought maybe Carolina might go for it here on 4th and 3, but they do have a live kicking competition. So Ryan Fitzgerald, they will.
All right, so the Browns will probably kneel this out for the 2-minute drill.
He's a holder. Not a football player.
J.J. Jansen, he's a long snapper.
Oh man, Steve Smith just called the long snapper not a football player on live television. Like, again, top tier preseason commentary. You really just want somebody in there who's just not going to care. Who's just absolutely not going to care.
Long snapper. You know, Hemingway said the great thing. No, that's not true. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, he's at 40 now. It's 40 now. It's 40 now, right here. I think is he 40 at the end of the season or is he 40 now?
He's a long snapper.
260 regular season games.
It's a lot. I remember JJ when we first drafted. Well, I couldn't believe he's still here. He's 39 on top 40 on January 20th. We're going to talk about him now. So,
What a great play. Here's Ted McMillan. This is what we've seen with him. That's an unbelievable catch away from the body. This part is going to learn so much.
Yeah, I wonder how Ted would have looked like if that was Denzel.
Gets there. He's really showing up. And here's Martin coming up on the tackle. He's a young kid.
Yeah, you got 3D.
He's really done a good job. He's a big physical corner.
All right, D-Mac, you got to take a break and chat. You got to take a break and chat after that one, brother. What were you? No, this is a family chat, brother. Yeah, you got to chill. I'm not going to time you out or block you or nothing like that, but brother, brother. Why are you bringing that up?
Many times as you go through it and
Is that us? Damn. Damn.
25 season.
We can't have those kind of penalties.
Make sure you stay connected. So sign up for text alerts and receive real-time updates, exclusive content, and special ticket deals directly on your phone. All you have to do is simply text Panthers to 90969. It is that easy. You'll be the first to know about all things Panthers, including game day updates, player news, and much more.
Doing the right thing, baby. Doing the right thing.
Next up for Carolina.
Doing the right thing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I thought they were going to run some plays, try to get a 2-minute drill. I was like, don't coach your ass off like that. All right, let's move to the post-game show. Just so you guys know, I'm also streaming the post-game show on Bleacher Report. And I will be doing the post-game show for the Cleveland Browns on Bleacher Report all season. So if you like watching them here, you can always watch here on my YouTube channel. I appreciate that. But also, I will be live on Bleacher Report after the post games all season. Every game in the preseason, every game in the regular season is the current plan right now with Bleacher Report. And just as we are getting ready, we're going to be live on Bleacher Report. Just a few minutes here. I'm going to get myself something to drink, and then we're going to go on to the post-game show. And we're going to discuss what happened in today's game. But we're going to start with the main story, which is Shador Sanders. A lot of people are wondering, how did Shador Sanders look? Did he play well? Did he show the doubters wrong? Well, let's discuss it. Let's discuss it. So the Browns played their first preseason game today. And I would say overall, in general, this was a good showing by the Cleveland Browns. I think this was positive pretty much on every front. Were there some things you want to see addressed? Were there some things you want to see improved? Obviously, yes. But if you compare the kind of efforts that this team got in the preseason last year versus what they got this year or in this game in the preseason, there is clearly a difference from where this team was at this point in camp last year to now. Now, I think they had a lot of injuries last year, but still the point stands. I think the emphasis on physicality that the Cleveland Browns have had has really showed itself to be a wise choice from the Cleveland Browns. Have the Browns had some injuries? Yes, but none of those injuries seem to be related to the increased physicality at practice. So you haven't had the same injury problem pop up that you had last year when you didn't have a physical practice. So even on the injury front, I think you're coming out ahead. But also when you just look at how prepared these guys were to play, everybody looks significantly more prepared to play for this moment than before. And I think that's a great adjustment by the coaching staff to realize that their past approach had been failing them, and they went with something different, and it seems like something different is definitely working out because this team looked like they were in a much better place, much more prepared. Had some pre-snap issues with the third team, but even the first team, second team, well, not the first team. First team didn't play. The second team didn't seem to have that many pre-snap issues. So overall, I think a solid day from a procedural standpoint. But let's talk about the subject that everybody wants to talk about, Shador Sanders. How did Shador Sanders look? Does Shador Sanders look like he's going to be the guy? Did he take the job already? Now, it's important to note, nobody's going to take the job in one preseason game, right? And that's just how that works, right? You're just not going to take the job because of what you've done in one preseason game. But what I will say for Shador Sanders is that what he's done in camp so far, what he's done in OTAs and mini camps, and now what he's done in this preseason game, when he was given the opportunity to take a lot of these snaps, is he's put a great groundwork down for a solid argument for him to be considered as somebody who should play sooner than later, right? That's what you saw all day today. Every single drive Shador went out there, no, they did not score, but I thought he had successful drives most of the time, right? They were able to move the ball. I don't believe Shador had a single 3 and out while he was out there. And keep in mind, first couple of drives, he was out there. Well, no. They technically went 3 and out that first drive, but that's because Kevin didn't go for it on 4th and 1. So outside of that, the Browns with Shador out there did not go 3 and out. There was one drive that started at the 5-yard line. Shador was able to flip field position. That's a win. They scored on 3 of the possessions that Shador was out there, put up 21 points as an offense while Shador was out there. And in general, the offense, going back to what Kevin does, you could just tell these guys have a lot more confidence in it, that they're more attuned for it. This offense looked functional today, even when Tyler Huntley was out there, but especially while Shador was out there. Shador had some really good throws, and it's hilarious to me, right, that so much of the conversation before this game was this idea that ridiculous people like Stephen A. Smith, who really ought to know better, put out there that Shador was so unready for this moment because the Browns didn't prepare him, that putting him out there to start in this preseason game was a setup, right? That was the narrative, that the Browns didn't prepare Shador enough to play in this preseason game. Well, I think we all got our answer on that. And I really do think, as much as Shador deserves credit, and he deserves the bulk of the credit here, I do think some credit is deserved to this Browns coaching staff and this Browns front office for making sure that when Shador gets out there, he always looks ready for what's ahead of him. And again, Shador's doing a lot of that work there too. It's not just Kevin Stefanski puppet stringing him or anything crazy like that. Shador is doing the bulk of the work. He is the engine of the work. Kevin can't make it happen for you, but it seems like the Browns are definitely putting Shador in a situation to thrive and succeed, because that's what Shador has been doing. I can't think of any other team that has somebody who is thriving and succeeding in the position that Shador is in, and everybody is blaming the coaching staff for everything that's not happening, right? Like, it's kind of ridiculous. We would give Baltimore's coaching staff credit if they had a young quarterback that went out there looked good, right? Philadelphia had Tanner McKee out there yesterday and looked really good. They gave Philadelphia's coaching staff credit for putting him in a good position for setting him up, right? And I think Kevin deserves some credit for that too. Obviously, somebody in chat mentioned that like Deion Sanders and obviously the people who coached Shador up to this point, they obviously deserve credit. It goes without saying. But I think everybody who's been involved in this project since Shador has been drafted, right? Kevin, Shador, whoever Shador's working with as his passing coach, has done a great job getting him ready, and it showed today because he was really prepared. Now, there are a couple of things I do think Shador still needs to work on, and he's still clearly working on. And even on those things, he showed some progress in those areas that make me feel confident that he's not just going to be stuck in a bad spot in those situations. So I think he's going to grow as time goes on. But yeah, I think there's a lot to take away from what we saw. Hold on. Yeah. I think there's a lot to take away from what we saw. Let me put up the link here. I can't tell what this is. All right, I'm gonna just put this up on Twitter. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of people deserve a lot of different credit for how Shador has looked. You know, it does feel like the Browns' role in this has been overlooked. I think it's obvious you can't overlook Shador's role in this, right? But I think this should be evidence that people should back off the Browns for how they've been handling this quarterback situation, right? I know there's been a lot of criticism. I understand it's the Cleveland Browns, and people are going to be uneasy about the Browns and handling quarterbacks, but it seems like they're handling this situation fine. It would be nice if everybody could just let the Browns breathe on this and let them cook with how they want to handle Shador, because it seems like they know what they were doing with him. So good stuff there from Shador Sanders. Now, what I thought stood out to me that made me especially excited from him, we know that Shador has that accuracy, right? That has never been a problem for Shador Sanders, is the accuracy that he has. And he demonstrated that. That first touchdown throw that he had in this game, I thought was an absolute dime, right? Like a straight up dime that he threw. The second touchdown was just really good process, working through his progressions, right? And I thought that last drive that he had that led to a rushing touchdown was also really, really strong from him. Had that nice throw to Luke Floria, really good catch by him, who might have popped his hamstring. But overall, I thought Shador did a really good job every drive that he was out there for the most part. Looked like an NFL quarterback, looked like he belonged. And it's important to remember, not only is he going up against the first and second team of the Panthers defense, but also like he is a rookie. This is his first NFL action at all. And he looks like a professional already. So that's a really good sign for him, right? And I do think it's a little bit different than DTR. I still want to be patient with this because the potential is clearly there. There are some things he needs to clean up that will get him in trouble in a real NFL game. And I think that there is enough there that if you're the Browns, you really, really, really should be careful about how you put him out there, just because this is something that you can mess up, right? Like you can mess it up. And there might be something there. You might regret if you mess it up, right? Like Dillon Gabriel, I don't really care what the Browns' plan is for Dillon Gabriel because I don't really think there's much there. So if the Browns just threw him out there and he looks, I'm not really losing sleep over it, right? But Shador, I think there is some potential there. I think they should be really intentional with how they move forward with him. The things I think Shador needs to work on, are the things that it's very clear that he's already working on, right? Which is the pocket mechanic stuff. There were a couple of times in this game where he did the thing, right? I talked about it in a video before where I don't mind if Shador is holding the ball like this and he runs forward. It's when he spins around and then spins around again, and he's doing the teacup ride at Disney, right, where he's just spinning around and spinning around. Now, he got away with it to his credit in the preseason game that he played in. It's important to note when he got away with it, I think it was only on the one that he did later in the game, which is against second stringers, not the one that he tried to do against the first team where he almost got ran down and had a disastrous sack in the red zone. That's not something I think he's going to be able to get away with. He does seem a lot more athletic than I remembered him being at Colorado. I thought he was a high 4'8" guy. It seems like he might be low 4'8", maybe high 4'7". His legs were definitely more of an advantage for him, and I think that's going to be something he can use. Throwing on a run seems like a skill set for him, right? He's pretty mobile. I don't think you take away that stuff. You just want to tell him, hey, don't try to keep the play alive for that long. Like, it's okay to let the play die. We can call up something else on second down. And I think he just needs to get used to that, right? As far as pocket mechanics go, there were a couple of times where I thought he did a real good job of standing in there, taking a blow, and delivering and just dealing from the pocket, right? So I don't think it was all bad there, right? There were a couple of plays that stand out where you're like, yeah, you can't do that in the real game. But for the most part, I thought what you saw was pretty impressive, and it demonstrated that these are things that he's still working on, right? His step-up game, still a bit of a work in progress. You could tell he's not comfortable doing it in full speed yet, but I think he'll get there. And he just needs to, maybe after that first rollout, if you ain't got nothing there, he needs to just shut it down after that, right? He kind of let the play go on for far too long a couple of times, and paid for it by getting hit. And I think he can work that stuff out because that's not the best part of his game. I think the best part of Shador's game is when he is able to get 2 feet firm in the ground and deal, right, as a passer and show off that accuracy. So I think there's something there with Shador. Very impressive showing. The question is, will this bring him above the depth chart of Dillon Gabriel? Now, there are 2 answers for this for me, right? If you're asking me, Quincy, what I would do, I never thought that Dillon Gabriel was better than Shador Sanders in the first place. So obviously, I would have just put Shador above Dillon to begin with, right? But that is not where the Browns are, right? If I'm talking about this from the Browns' perspective, that means you're talking about this from the perspective of a team that selected Dillon Gabriel before Shador Sanders. And if you're asking me if this performance in this game will put him above Dillon this week, I would say I don't anticipate the Cleveland Browns to do that. Because I think if you're the Browns, at the very least, you're going to want to give Dillon Gabriel this week to prove that he should still be in his spot. Now, if he can't practice this week, that gets very interesting. If he can't practice for the rest of the camp, that gets very interesting, right? Because ultimately, we don't know how Dillon Gabriel would have looked in this situation. Maybe he would have looked good. Like, maybe he would have looked awful. But if we need something to compare what Dillon looks like to what Shador has looked like, because everything that we have seen has made it seem that Shador is much more impressive. And this game kind of confirms all of that, right? So I think the coaching staff is going to give Dillon like 1 more week to really jump the line or prove that he has earned his spot in line. If not, then I think they're going to have some real conversations about what the rest of that process looks like. Again, this is where I got to separate my own opinion from where the Browns are, right? Because if I'm just working from my opinion, this is a no-brainer. I'm putting Shador in number 2 in the depth chart immediately. But I also wouldn't have drafted Dillon over Shador. And I'm not saying that to say that I'm better at talent evaluation than the Cleveland Browns. I'm just saying, hey, this is a team that definitely is not on the same page as I am as far as their view of these two quarterbacks. They view Dylan as somebody that they're interested in too. So they're not just going to give up on him because he hurt his hamstring and Shador looked good in the preseason game. They're going to give Dylan a chance to get back in this. But if this is a competition between Dylan and Shador, Shador's winning it. I think that's undeniable at this point. But we'll see. We'll see what they do going forward. So that's the Shador Dylan part of this. I thought that, this was a pretty good day for Shador Sanders and a pretty good day for the Cleveland Browns. So that's that part of it. That's the quarterback part of this. Let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened in this preseason game, right? Because it wasn't just quarterback play, even though quarterback play is what we've just spent the bulk of the time talking about. There were other things that happened in this game as well, right? Other players that stood out in this game. If I'm talking about the Browns in total, I'll start with the bad because most of this video is going to be good. The only thing I walked away from this game that I was concerned about before it, that I walk away from this game being even more concerned about, is slot corner. Slot corner, I ain't buying that we got one. I don't think our slot corner's on this roster. Cam Mitchell is getting cooked out there, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a such thing as a year 3 slump for corners because the same thing happened to Martin Emerson. But, man, I'll watch the tape. I'll watch the tape. But what I saw on broadcast was very underwhelming from Cam Mitchell. Very underwhelming. Whether he was in the slot, whether he was playing outside corner, it was barbecue chicken city all day. The only reason he didn't give up a touchdown is because Ted McMillan dropped the pass. That's really it. I am not very excited about this slot corner room. I think somebody just mentioned that I ought to be concerned about kicker. I am. I don't think the Browns care, so I just got to live with that, right? Or we're gonna have to shit on them when that time comes, right? Because they don't seem concerned. Again, I asked Bubba if he thought it was a competition. He does not think it's a real competition. It's obvious because the other guy didn't even kick today. So, anyways, kicking aside, which I am concerned about, I just don't have any belief that they're gonna make that better. Corner, they can do something to get better. I know people are high on Miles Harden. He wasn't much better today. The corners that I thought looked good today were like Tony Brown. And Tony Brown's an emergency corner, right? He's not really somebody who's supposed to be like an every down starter for you, but we're desperate and he might have to be because he was the only other guy out there that looked like he knew what he was doing. So, yeah, I'm very concerned about slot corner, and I'm at the point now to where I think this corner room's going to look very different after the 53 cut down than it does before because it ain't where it needs to be at all. It is not anywhere close to where it needs to be. It is a glaring weakness on this defense, and I would hate to see the dominance that this team projects to have on the defensive line be cooled off because Cam Mitchell is barbecue chicken out there, right? And I know people got used to shitting on Greg Newsome. We're really about to find out just how good Greg Newsome was when we see Cam out there because it just has not been good. Maybe it's just a rough patch in camp and he looks better by the start of the season. I'm crossing my fingers if that's the case. But, man, if the Cam Mitchell that we've seen the last 2 weeks is the dude we got starting week 1, if you bet the over on Jamar Chase yards, okay? Because it's going to happen. They're going to isolate Jamar Chase to that slot, and they're going to cook. They're going to cook on that one. So, yeah, not in love with that. Other than that, somebody mentioned kicker. Dustin Hopkins looks shaky as hell today. They just gonna let that go until he kicks himself off the team. It's a K. York situation again. He's going to have to kick himself off the team. There is no competition. The kicker the Browns bring in, if he kicks himself off the team, is probably playing for somebody else right now. That's just what it is. He's going to have to kick himself off the team. And I don't know if he's going to do that in the preseason, but he might. He missed the extra point today, so not great. That all being said, I thought we saw a lot of good stuff in this game. Let's start with the rookies real quick, right? Mason Graham, he was getting double teamed all day. That makes sense. 5-on-4, right? You're rushing your baseline. Somebody's going to get doubled. It's going to be the 5th overall pick. I thought he did a good job handling those double teams, still getting pressure, still getting push on the line. The defensive line in general did a really good job getting pressure. They got a sack early on Bryce Young. They did give up a touchdown to the Panthers' first team unit. I don't think that touchdown would have happened on the Browns' first team unit because I don't know if Tech gets that big play on Denzel Ward, and I don't know if Bryce Young gets all that time with Myles Garrett out there to score that touchdown. So nothing I was really concerned off. I really thought the second team defense held up pretty well against, the Panthers' first team offense. So, yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. Carson Schlesinger was flying around the field, making all kind of plays. I think he got like 2 TFLs. Yeah, the guy's good, right? Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, those guys look like they're going to be so good you forget about them sometimes. Like you take them for granted because you're like, oh, yeah, they're good, right? They're good. I don't think there's anything really to worry about that on that front there with those two. I thought they looked pretty good while they were out there. We really didn't get to see that much of Deontay Johnson. I think the only time he got targeted, the ball went off his hands. So that was unfortunate. But we know what Deontay Johnson can do. The question is, can he mentally be at the place he needs to stay on the team? But other than that, there's really not that much to be concerned about with him. I mentioned Tony Brown. He looked pretty good. I thought the run game in general alleviated a lot of my concern. Now, again, it's the preseason, but it is the first time that we've seen this run game in live contact, and it looked a lot better than it did in practice. And for something like the run game, I'm going to care a little bit more about the preseason than like what you look like in training camp. The Browns, let me pull up the team stats here because I thought they had a good amount of rushing yards. Where were they on rushing yards? Yeah, about 125 rushing yards on 32 attempts, about 4 yards a carry. So not the greatest number there. But what the run game was consistently effective, able to get them ahead of the sticks. I thought that number 39, Amani Marshall, really stood out today. He's a big guy. Out of App State, undrafted guy. 39, number 39, he's 6'1", 225. 1 second. He's 6'1", 225. And he is faster than you would expect. I want to know if he has a 40 time available, because he looked way faster than I expected him to be. He was able to hit corners, all kind of stuff on a consistent basis. 4.47 guy. So, yeah, he's NFL fast, and he seems to have really good burst, acceleration. I did not know much about him coming out of App State. Seems like he was like a transfer portal guy for App State last year, was at Wake Forest the year prior, but he was pretty good in this game. Had a pass protection rep on the Shador Sanders, his second touchdown, if you watch it. Did a really good job of protecting Shador from, I think, a DB blitz in that game, in that rep there. So I thought he was pretty impressive in this game. Ran the ball pretty well, had a couple of big runs. No, it does not alleviate my concern with the whole Quincy Junkins situation. Obviously, I'm still concerned about that. But it's nice to know that, like, okay, there's another body there, right, that I can, that's not Pierre Strong that you can run out there possibly. And I can be happy with that. And then obviously with the backup offensive line, you want to see them generate push, be able to move the ball through the run game, and they were able to do that. Other standouts, I thought Winston Reed was pretty damn good. Tip the hat. Got to tip the hat. Hey, Coach Tarver coaches the fuck out them linebackers, man. Every year we're like, oh God, we don't got enough linebackers. What we gonna do at linebacker? And then Jason Tarver just be plucking these guys out of obscurity. Where was Winston Reed even drafted? I don't think he was drafted by the Browns, but like, where did he even find this dude Winston Reed? Like he just finds these guys, develops them. And like, he's probably going to get a pretty solid player out of him. So great job, Jason Tarver. Yeah, Weber stay undrafted in 2024. He's probably going to make the roster here and might even play a little bit, right? Because we don't know if Devin Bush is going to be suspended. Probably going to be suspended because he had a domestic violence situation earlier this year too. So that's that. Luke Floria. I don't usually get this way about preseason wide receivers. I don't usually get excited about the preseason wide receivers. I am allowing myself just this one time to get a little excited about Luke Floria. I am. I'm allowing myself just this one time. I think there's something in him. He has amazing hands. He has this nose for playmaking. I actually think there is something to this guy. I don't know what he's going to be. I'm not going to make a Julian Edelman comp. I know my friend Mac Robinson made the Julian Edelman comp on Twitter, and it is compelling, but that's too much, right? There is something to this guy. This guy has that thing about him where you just watch him play football and you go, that guy can play football. I don't know how far he can take it. I don't know how effective that means he's going to be, but this dude finds a way to just make play after play after play after play. There is something there. I'll just put it like this. Luke Floria, dude can hoop. Dude can hoop, right? Sometimes dudes can hoop and they're good NFL players. Sometimes dudes can hoop and they're not. This dude can hoop. At some level of football, professionally, this guy's going to be an impact player, right? Maybe it's in the NFL. Maybe it's in the UFL. I don't know. But the dude can hoop. He's fun to watch. The guy can hoop. I hope his hamstring injury wasn't serious because I want to see more of him as the preseason goes on. But man, this was such a better start for the preseason this year than what we had last year. Last year, we had a diabolically terrible start to the You remember that preseason game? Like, it was bad. It was awful. It was a pretty pathetic preseason that ended up being the opening salvo to a pretty pathetic season in general. This felt much better. The offense looked functional. The offense looked like it actually worked. The Browns look like a well-coached team today. Now, again, they had penalty issues late into the fourth quarter, but it really wasn't anything you concern yourself with. Those aren't guys who are going to be even on your practice squad for the most part. And there was concern about like procedural penalties in the joint practice. That did not carry over to this game. The Browns look like a team that has a good coach on both sides of the ball. Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz, and are relatively talented. And that's really all I can ask for in the first preseason game. Now, am I going to take this first preseason game and realistically run to the Browns are going to be number one in the league? They're going to win the AFC North? No. Am I going to take this first preseason game and say that Shador Sanders is going to win Rookie of the Year? No, right? I still want to see more. I still want to see them build off of what is a pretty good start that they've got themselves off to. But this is a nice foundation. This is a great start for the season, and you just feel so much better after watching this than you did last year. And that's a good sign, right? We don't have to do the whole arguing about whether this matters or not, the preseason, this or that. We can all just say, hey, look, we watched the Browns play a preseason game and we're pretty happy with what we saw. That's where we can all start our conversations with. Nobody has any right to be angry about this preseason game. The Browns didn't turn the ball over once in this game offensively. Like, they played solid, sound football. The kind of football they're going to need to play to win as many games as possible this season. That's a good start. Let's see them build off of it. Let's see Shador build off of it. Let's see everybody build off of it, right? Nobody makes the Hall of Fame after one preseason game. Nobody has ever gotten an automatic bid to the playoffs for winning a preseason game. Nobody has ever won their division off preseason games. So obviously there's a level that I'm not going to take it to, and it's my job not to take it to. You want to be excited about this? Please do. Don't let me stop you, right? I'm just saying, I have a responsibility not to get that carried away. But this was a great start to the preseason. Want to see them continue it. Want to see them build off of it. But this is a great start. You are not crazy if you're a Browns fan, if you watch that and you feel good. Hell, if you feel great. You're not crazy if you watch that. Now, again, I want to go to Vegas and bet the over or go to Vegas and bet the Browns to win 12 games next year or something like that. But I would say if you feel good, then feel good. Watch those highlights, But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have a great day, even better night. Peace. Yes, that will be it for today's stream. Let me go back and make sure I did not miss any super chats. And then we'll end for the night because it is getting pretty late. So let's go and make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Caleb Cruz says, do I have any thoughts on Shador patting the ball right before he throws? I have said this since this controversy came out. People fixating on him patting the ball is the most nonsense, bored quarterback take of all time. Patting the ball is not a problem, right? If he's holding on to the ball, that's the issue, right? Patting the ball, if he's getting the ball out when he's supposed to and getting the ball where it's supposed to go, I don't give a fuck if he pats the ball. It's more about, is he holding on to the ball too long, right? The patting the ball thing, that's one of these things that the internet does where people fixate on a symptom and diagnose the symptom as if it's the whole problem, right? Patting the ball is a symptom, right? The reason you notice that he pats the ball is sometimes he holds the ball too long. But the problem isn't that he pats the ball. If he stops patting the ball, still holds the ball too long, the problem's still going to exist, right? The patting the ball thing is just a pointless argument. Nobody cares about him patting the ball. Jeffrey Anderson says, Yahoo. Appreciate that. All right. And I'm caught up. All right, y'all. It's been real. We've had a great day. Y'all have an even better night. Thank you for joining. 800 strong still as we reach the 11 o'clock hour. Appreciate